won't tell me on my phone.
Oh, yeah, you are. You're just probably right about now. Did y'all catch us talking behind your backs? Amanda Wolfchild, do you have something to say while I get ready?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to do the laugh, but I just want to say hi, everybody. Welcome to the Church of Keck with your Reverend Ogre and High Priestess Amanda Wolfchild here. We've also got Mark Doppelganger and the Beard Barian hanging out with us. We are going to be talking about Dankula, at least for the first hour today, because there is a lot going on. I mean, poor Dank. I just want to say, we're all here for you, man. And we all hope for the best. We understand where you're coming from, where you think that it's already been decided, but we hope for the justice system, and we hope something good will come of this. And we hope not only that you get out of this, but that people wake up and realize this was fucking stupid to begin with.
Well said, Amanda. Well said. So I didn't do it before I started. So church, I mean, not church out there, but clergy here among us. And we don't look at ourselves as better than you folks, but this is the clergy here, and you are the congregation. So clergy, if I could get a little check on the sound, let me know if you can understand this. Well, there goes.
You're just a little bit quieter than the guitar, but it's good. We can hear you. Just speak up a little.
Yeah, I can fix that. Watch this.
Are you switched to studio mode?
Yeah, of course I am. Watch this.
Right.
Check this out. I'll just give him a couple words. And well, there goes Johnny Apples.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go, folks. This is a very difficult song for me. I didn't want to pick out something easy. And this is for Count Dankula, man. I don't know what else to say. Dank, I stand with you. I made a stupid little video on my tiny little platform, and I re-upped yours. And the reason why? Because when you bleed, brother, I bleed. And when any of my friends suffer, I suffer with you. And I think I may be more nervous about this than you are, brother, because I may just not be the man that you are. I've never seen anybody go through such bullshit with the dignity that you've shown, sir. And if nothing else comes from this, Dank, you've made me a better man through your trial. So this is Joe Strummer, and I do believe he's from Scotland. Well, there goes Johnny Appleseed. He might pass by in your hour of need. Takes a lot of soul. Ain't locked up in no well, chained in a factory. Well, down they go. Hey, now they go. If you got to get the honey, well, come and go. Hey, come and go. If you're out to get the honey. Look, there goes Martin Luther King. Hey, how the dance floors and the chimes of freedom ring. Hear what you're saying. Hear what you're saying. Ah, what's true's no longer so. Hey, hey, come and go. Hey, let that go. If you're out to get the honey, then you don't go killing all the bees. Lord, there goes a Buick 49. Black sheep of the angels riding down the line. We think we got a soul. We don't know how. And sometimes soul is hard to find, yeah. Hey, come and go. Hey, come and go. If you're out to get the honey. Hey, let that go. Oh, gotta let him go. If you're out to get the honey, then you won't go killing all the bees. Check out Joe Strummer if you've never heard of him. That was my rendition of that. And Dankula, look, they can kill you, but they can't eat you. So I wanted to ask everybody a question to get started on this strange thing. Because it's strange to me because I'm American and I can walk up to an old lady in the street. It doesn't matter who she is. It could be your grandmother. I can walk up to her in the street and I can say, "You old bitch, you're going to hell." Or, "You know what, you fucking cunt, I don't like the way you look." I can say anything I want. I can't say, like, suck my dick, because that would be, a proposition. I can't say I want to kill you or I want to hurt you or anything like that, which is just, I think, and I don't think it's part of freedom of speech, not hate speech, not this insanity, that's this insidiousness that's creeping its way into the entire world. But I can say what I want to say. Where Dankula is, apparently he can't. He can't make up a funny joke to incense his woman and to make this Jew boy laugh. And I find that a little disturbing. So I'm going to ask a question that I asked up at the local pub today. I went and I met a little girlfriend of mine. She's so sweet, man. She's so good to the ogre. And she actually let me, I won't tell you about it right now, but she let me do some things that I probably shouldn't be doing. And it was very nice for me. But while we were at the pub, before we left to do said nice things, I asked some questions of people. I actually showed the video of Dankula and, gas the Jews, son, and the, whole pub doing this thing. And there was a consensus at the bar. One of the barmaids that I like very much, I won't mention her name, but I like her very much. She's a very wonderful woman. She's my bartender. She always brings me my PBR. In fact, the PBRs I'm drinking right now, I ordered at the pub that I was at. I brought them home in a brown paper bag. They'll sell you a beer at the pub to go. And she said, "Well, he shouldn't have done that. She knows I'm Jewish." I was like, "Well, bartender X, it made me laugh. It made me feel better about my grandfather being in Buchenwald. So you said he shouldn't have done that, but what should be the penalty? What should he get, a fine?" Well, at first I actually asked, everybody asked the same thing too. Should he go to jail? Emphatically, everybody said, no way. And then even my bartender, who said he shouldn't have done that, I said, well, should he get a fine even? Should he be reprimanded by the authorities, by the justice system? And the answer here in my small town was no. That we need comedy for the shit that hurts us. We need rape jokes. We need jokes about the Holocaust and about the Young Turks and the Armenian genocide. We need jokes about these things. We don't need jokes about puppy dogs, about flowers, and about things that make us happy. So I guess I'll start the question with Beard Barian, because he always asks me tough shit. Beard Barian, and I'm starting with you also because you're in a country, sir, where freedom of speech is not guaranteed. I'm not even sure what you can say on this topic. It's horrifying to me.
So everything that Dank is dealing with right now is just about copy paste what you would deal with in Canada for doing similar things. We have some very particular and very dangerous laws surrounding what is hate crime and what its punishments are. And phobia, where it used to be just about something that you had a genuine, irrational, meaningless fear of, is now just become a dislike of. And this is being applied to how hate speech works in Canada. What Dank is facing is what I'm afraid of facing, and why I'm particular about what I speak about. No, somebody shouldn't be punished for their speech, even if it is uncomfortable or painful speech. If it is a threat of violence, or it's some sort of extortion or something that harms another person's ability to live and express their free will, then yes, we should intervene. But if it's just fucking words, then it's just fucking words. That's what I got to say on that.
Well, that's good, Beard Barian. And so, because he actually did such a wonderful job without me even leading him and giving him a question, I just kind of want to give each one of you two, starting with Amanda Wolfchild, because I don't know when she'll have to dip out. I mean, any idea about what's going on here? How do you feel about this? Should he? And I know you, Amanda. If anybody will be honest, you'll be the one that's like, put the motherfucker in jail if that's what you feel. So, what do you think should happen if I make a video saying that? Who knows? Insert horrible thing here. Should something happen?
The worst thing that could or should happen, unless you are genuinely making a threat against somebody or a group, unless you're saying I'm going to go out and, attack them, the worst thing that should happen is YouTube should remove your video or your channel if they decide to. Like, it's YouTube. It's their platform. They can do what the fuck they want with it. It's a private company. That's the worst that should happen. That's it. The government has no say in it. Like, freedom of speech, it's not a law that the government can choose to impose or not. You just have the freedom to say things because you're a human being, because you have a mouth and you can talk. The only way to stop somebody from talking is with violence or the threat of violence. That's it.
And you don't think we should use the threat of violence,
No.
i.e. the state or the government, to do that?
No, hell no. You have no right to. It's not your mouth. They're not your words.
Well, Doppelganger, as you look down on our planet from Kolot and you observe us puny humans here and you see this going on, what would you think? What did they do on your home planet?
This is craziness. We, on my home planet, would never stand for such encroachment of liberty. Never, ever. Speech must be free. This is how good ideas propagate. This.
What's your immigration
joking
policy like?
That we will cover later on, among the subject of space pirates and other such. But really, speech and free speech and humor and jokes is exactly how you indicate what needs to change, where the boundaries must be redrawn. So by removing this basically safety valve, you are creating society where tensions rise and rise, and at some point something's got to give.
Yeah, that's well said. And you know what? I'm going to say, before we go into the idea of freedom, what does freedom mean? I mean, because we're all intelligent people here. We know that freedom of speech doesn't mean that I can say, and I got to be careful what I say now, and so I'm going to make a disclaimer. This is satirical and an example. It's not me saying anything. But I can't come and say, hey, Doppelganger, Amanda Wolfchild, Beard Barian, let's overthrow the Canadian government. Let's go get, what's his name, that cuck faggot up there that runs your country?
Trudeau.
Let's go get Trudeau and cast him into the sea. I can't say that because, I wouldn't
Neither
say
can I. I can't say it at all. I cannot endorse such an idea ever.
And we wouldn't say that because we don't believe in violence unless violence is perpetrated on us. So I guess this is a toughie. And Beard, Dop, any of you that want to steer this, I really need help because my brain. I made a little video for Dop today. For Dank today, and it was the hardest thing I did. I made sure I hadn't had a beer before I did it. I was this morning speaking with the Britisher, and I'm not even going to joke. As we were talking, and the Britisher is very intelligent, and he got some information that I won't share, and he sent me the doc where it shows that that he'll be there. It has his real name and shows the courtroom he'll be in, and I wept. I'm not a sissy either. I'm not. I've been nearly beaten to death and left for dead. I never begged for my life. I've never begged for anything in my fucking life. What I wanted, I went out and I worked for. I took it. And so it's hard for me. But when the British and I were there, and I imagined my brother making a joke, a bloody joke, when I imagined him in a jail cell, in a prison cell, with a concrete board for a bench, with the gruel that they feed you, I wept tears and my ire rose. And I said to the Britisher, you know what? If it was 200 years ago, we'd ride roughshod over that fucking court and we'd release our brother by our own might. But since that can't happen, I don't know. What more can we do but sing songs and hold hands and do the kumbaya thing?
Frankly, this is a precarious position because on one hand, we can't really pressure the judge. We need an independent justice and any kind of demonstrations, anything like that would probably even harm Dankula's case. I believe he made a video to that effect recently. On the other hand, yeah, at this point, I don't know what we else could do. Basically hope that this case actually gets thrown out at some point, or he will be ruled innocent. And from that point on, we would have a pretty nice precedent to actually say other would-be silencer of jokes that no, the buck stops here. No, that's the wrong expression, but no, this case has been tried, and we cannot have that much encroachment on free speech.
I disagree. That's the perfect way to say it, Dop. The buck stops here with the court system.
That's
the buck
case.
Stops right there. They say, no, we're not going to. So, and look, I interjected enough. So you folks heard the topic. I want to hear what y'all think. What can we do as humanity? We can't. I mean, it's unreasonable to think that we would overthrow the government. Or what can we do?
Sorry, I was muted for a little bit because I was talking to my friend I was supposed to pick up from work. He's not going to be ready until in time for me to take him before my kid gets off the bus. So I'm here until after the kid gets off the bus, at least. But
Well, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I want to hear your opinion. So go ahead, Sweetness.
well, all we can really do is just call out stupidity when we see it, like we already do on YouTube. And if just more and more people start opening their eyes and looking and seeing stupidity and calling it out as well, maybe eventually we'll be able to curb at least some of it. You'll never get rid of stupidity, but maybe we can at least keep it out of government, at least keep it out of our laws, because that's the only place you can have true equality, that you can have true blind justice is in the law. That's it. Like, they have to look at things fairly. They have to look at what is somebody's biological right as a human being. You have a voice, you can talk, fucking talk. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Sometimes I feel, though, girl, like we're pissing in the wind, but I definitely want to hear what Beard Barian says before I go off into another tirade.
It's going to sound really stupid, but Dank actually accidentally told us exactly what to do, and I believe that by doing so in this case, it'll help in future cases as well. We need to find all of the Jewish people in Scotland and get them to watch the video and say, no, this is not a hateful action, and provide this as a testimony.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say take all the Jewish people in Scotland and gas them.
No.
Sorry.
No,
I got to have a little joke here.
That's secretly the key, though. We need to highlight the people that are the supposed targets of offense and have them speak out against this and demonstrate that, no, the kind of speech that we're having and that we're engaging in is healthy comedy, and it's just that. Trying to negotiate it or beg for them to see the difference is not going to make a difference. But if we can highlight people of the offended communities to speak out and say, no, this is comedy, not necessarily as a grandstanding thing, but just we need to make it a common practice. And Catherine asks, what if they say it is? Well, if they say that it is offensive, well, then we need to deal with, we have to face that as well. And that at that point, there are potentially applicable consequences. But again, humor does one of two things. Humor in its core helps us to either heal or it helps us to hurt people. Either we're benefiting and growing from it, or we're using it as a weapon. And we need to determine if it was intentionally used as a weapon. But if it's a bad joke, we need to have a talk. If it's a weapon, then it needs to be addressed.
But a talk. Well. I mean, when you say that, I think of them roasting Donald Trump. I think of the Rat Pack when they used to have the roast, man, and we had Don Rickles, God rest his soul, man, Mr. Warmth, and he would go up and ruthlessly roast some of his best friends. And so what I would say is, I'm going to just make this statement and see what you think about it, Beard, before I kick it to Dop. What in the world could possibly be inappropriate comedy? Is there such a thing?
When it is used as a weapon. That defined line is, are we trying to actively cause harm to somebody and make them the rather than have a punchline to the joke? There's always a punchline.
But brother, sticks and stones may break my bones, but you're going to go with Trudeau and say sometimes words will hurt me?
Almost. I'm not saying that the words hurt the person, but I'm saying, for example, if I were to sit down with somebody, with one of my black buds, and just start ripping into him with nigger jokes and tear him a new asshole and trying to injure him with this comedy, actively trying to reduce his quality of life, intentionally trying to cause harm, then yes, I should be approached and talked to about that behavior.
Okay, approached and talked to by society. In other words, if you and I were there, Beard, and we had which I have lots of colored friends. Everybody says that.
I'm not supporting any sort of criminal intervention for speech. That's stupid. The criminal intervention only needs to come in the place of action. Action needs to be met with action. Words need to be met with words. That's it.
That's what I was saying. Yes, exactly. You have the right to talk. Nobody has the right to shut you up with violence.
So in other words, we don't have a problem here, because right now, as it stands in the society I live in, if I go off, in fact, I'm Jewish, man, and I'm not even loved around here just because I'm a Jew. People just know me. And don't get me wrong, I've been many times, people have been like, that kike, because I drive a nice car. I got a Mercury Marquis. I wear a suit where I go. My watch, the British is going to bust my balls, and I'm not going to wag it in front of the camera like I used to. But my watch does cost more than most people's car. And that is a fact. And so I get that. Oh, look at that kike. But you know what happens? People come and they say, hey, you can dislike him because whatever. but you can't talk shit on the preacher because he's a Jew, because we're not going to stand for it. So, in other words, there is no problem. The problem's already solved.
I want to interrupt for a second because we got a pretty nice information from Cass S. In that in Scottish hate speech laws, the victim is irrelevant. So basically the idea about getting the Jews to watch it and say, no, that doesn't bother us, isn't all that relevant, because apparently in their laws, it's a crime against the state, not against the individual. So it's the state prosecuting, and the state, it's basically the state taking the offense on behalf of the Jews.
That's so dangerous.
Fuck that noise.
That is unacceptable.
Fuck
Yeah, you can't do that, because if you have the state taking the part of the Jews, which as a Jew, I gotta say this, if you have the state taking the side of the Jews, they're fucking no different than the Nazis. There is no difference. We have to say praise Keck, give the okay sign. Loki, I see you're here. Maybe you have some wisdom. Maybe you have some wisdom for us on this, because I've been on the Kekistani Refugee Center for quite a while, and we crack jokes on there. People put up all kinds of shit. Some folks might roll by there and be so offended, but I don't see no hate that resides on your webpage, sir, on your Discord page.
They please, and we have a strict policy of no kicking people. We don't kick people, and we give people the open forum to do whatever they want, however they want, and say whatever they want. Let the ideas flow freely, which is not what I can say for the country I reside in, Canada. Clearly, I see we have another fellow Canadian in there. Hello, nice to meet you. Yeah, recently, what was that stupid story? Some guy, one of the professors just got charged by social justice courts for culturally appropriating. And, sorry? Okay, and now he's gonna get fired because of it. So he's gotta be forced to resign. I don't even know what cultural appropriation is at this point. But apparently you can get fired for culturally appropriating. Tell me how that works.
That's disgusting. It's disgusting, mate. Well, and what they're saying is, I was just watching a Kool-Aid commercial from the 1950s, and it was like they had like Chinese guys like, "Ooh, Kool-Aid tastes great," and he had like a bathrobe on with the big shoes, and listen, there back then, we got along together as races better than we do now, panel. It's when it used to be, when I would show up to work late, when I was working construction and going to college, I showed up to work late. I worked with a very diverse group of people in Orlando, Florida. A lot of Cubans, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of black folks, a lot of poor white trash like I was. And, I'd show up and be like, "Hey, what's wrong? Your trailer burned down?" And they would actually be like, "What's wrong, nigga? Your trailer burned down." The black boys and the Mexicans be like, "Hey, what's wrong, SA? You couldn't get your car to start this morning, SA?" And, if they showed up late, I'd be, "Hey, what's wrong, Beaner?" And we got along great because we could be ourselves, but pick on the stereotypes. And in picking on the stereotypes, we took the power away from it. Anybody that says that's not the case has never lived. They don't know.
Plus, like the very idea of getting offended on the behalf of somebody, like you basically take away that's the moment where basically people that might be hurt are not relevant anymore. Like you just said, like people that might be hurt are not even relevant anymore. Like it's just somebody getting offended on your behalf. It's way too dangerous to engage inside that path. It's really way too dangerous.
And Jeremy, I hate to put you on the spot, but because I've never really talked to you about Dank. Do you know who Count Dankula is? Do you know about this situation?
I've seen him. I've seen him on your stream.
Okay, good.
And you told me about him basically being on trial for teaching his spug, of all things, to do a Nazi salute. And I'm like, can't a guy be fooling around with his dog? Just.
Wait, how can you tell that it's a dog actually Nazi saluting? Can it be a dog just trying to shake its paw, and then other people are just perceiving it as a Nazi salute?
Well, if you haven't seen the video, and if you haven't seen the video, the dog is laying there, and it goes in increments because he starts out by saying, "I tried to think of the worst." I can't do the accent. He said, "I tried to think of the worst thing I could do to my old lady, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach your dog to react." Well, he doesn't say react. He said, "I'm going to teach the dog to Nazi salute." And the dog's laying there sleeping. And he's like, "Buddha." The dog's name is Buddha. And he's like, "Buddha, son." And the dog is sleeping. You hear snoring. And he's like, "Gas the Jews." And, he's trained it to when it hears "gas the Jews," it thinks it's going to get a treat. And whenever he says gas the Jews and it's there, or he says Sig Heil, I'm sorry, and it's there, which I could do with my dog. But as I said, I won't do it on camera. I taught my dog these things. I'm fucking Jewish. I think it's fucking hilarious. I showed my uncle came over. I was like, watch this. I would say, Lily, come here. And she, no, don't do it, Lily. Don't go away. So she did. She came. Look, she came right back as I called her. And so I was like, I don't want to say what I say, but I said that. And my uncle was like, my uncle escaped with my father. It's a long story, but it wasn't even from Germany, but they escaped from some bad shit in Louisville, Kentucky. They would have died because they were Jewish. That they think it's funny. My grandfather was in Buchenwald. Anyway, so we need humor for bad stuff.
Oh, yeah. Not only is it how you heal, but it's also how you make the next generation understand that, yo, indeed it was fucked up, but hey, I'm alive. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, moreover, this is just the best coping mechanism we have as humans. Basically, if we can laugh it off, we can walk it off.
If you take away the laughter, the only that's a quote from a French comedian. If you take away the ability for the people to laugh, give them a gun at least.
That's
right.
Perfect, brother. If they can't laugh, you might as well give them a gun. And what would the gun be for? So we're all clear.
Yeah.
Boom.
Shoot yourself. Just shoot yourself.
We always say up here, it's like, if I couldn't laugh, I'd have to cry, Amanda Wolfchild. Isn't there sometimes, girl, when you want to cry, but laughter is actually better?
I don't really know that I'm the best person to ask that question because of my, childhood and everything. I can't even really cry that easily. So if I cry, it's because something was so bad that I couldn't help but cry.
But I've heard you laugh a lot. I've heard you laugh an awful lot.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's the only, like you said, it's the only way you can deal with the bad shit. I can't even let myself cry because the way I grew up, I see it as feeling sorry for yourself and seeking attention, even if there's nobody else around.
We just got perfect response from MC. What's the gun for? Laughing as you put down the vermin.
MCJK, I think I sent him out a link, but I got to say, I'm sure that he's busy ridding the world of cancer. That is what my brother does. I'm so honored to have him on, but I'll get off on the side weeds. So what I want to do is, Beard Barian.
Yep.
I depend on you a lot, brother. So is there anything is there somewhere that you want to, I want to hear from you on this topic in a way that I don't prod you. How is humanity, because you already said we have to come up to our brothers and say, hey, listen, brother, what you're doing right now is bumming me the fuck out. As a matter of fact, if you don't quit it, I'm going to punch you in the mouth and knock your fucking teeth down your throat. So please, for your own sake, don't be a dick. Is there more than we can, is there something else we can do other than that? What are we going to do? Is there a problem that needs to be solved, I guess is the question.
Man, that went all over the place all at once.
It sure did, because I'm telling you, that's why I need your help. What I want you to do is help me to steer this last, we're probably going to go for 23 more minutes on this subject. And so I need your help.
Fundamentally, the way that we're going to have to make a difference in this is through encouraging members of every single country that's having to face this right now to write letters to their MPs, contact their officials, and begin to try and enforce actual changes in the legislature to eliminate these problems. We're going to have to be active in our political involvement once again. That's where a lot of our civilization started to fall apart, was when we just started going nuts with free voting, and it makes me cringe every time I admit that. But we fucked things up, and we need to reform our system and who gets to vote. But we formally need to fix the laws surrounding our speech. We need to get our rights back. We need to get right. We need to write our goddamn governments and bitch really, really eloquently.
Well, and I want to. Yeah, but please, I want to stick on that because he said we need to reform who votes. And if I could just go ahead, Dop, and because I want to press him a little bit. So go ahead, Dop.
Okay, so Barbarian, point blank, do you want to limit suffrage? Do you want to limit it to only certain groups of people?
I wish to see a return to a system where the people who are able to vote and are voting are individuals who hold relative productivity in society. So if anybody who's working, anybody who owns land, anybody that's participating in the economy, I would like to be able to to vote, but unfortunately, with the giant welfare state that we have, welfare states only vote for more welfare. So I feel that anybody who's not participating in the domestic product, whatever the fuck it's called, the economy of their nation should not be voting for more changes because they're just going to vote for more welfare.
Yeah, the problem is that now raise the problem of how do you make sure that your politicians don't skew what is recognized as genuine economical activity and what is recognized as
They're going to fuck with that every
That's,
chance.
Yeah.
that's why I haven't
Yeah.
proposed a system yet, is because that's a really hard thing to make a possibility, and it hurts. That's why I was kind of cringing while I was saying it, because it's like I don't know how to make it real.
Yeah.
Another thing I've been
There's so many
discussing-
ideals, but it's the path to get there that always fucking gets me.
Another thing I've been discussing regarding the vote issue, and sorry to interrupt, but drugs. I specifically made a video about drugs. The government, like Justin Trudeau, only won his place in our government because he offered people drugs, legalized drugs. And I really wonder, like, how can the government system come in and say, well, vote for me and I'll legalize heroin, I'll legalize cocaine, I'll legalize anything you goddamn want. And
Well,
What
I
was
have
it?
an issue-
Was it only about legalizing it, or was it now that we legalize it? Now that we are able to legalize it, we're gonna be able to A, control the production, B, do prevention policies, C, do desintoxication.
no, no, no,
When they were
all
marketing-
those things
when they were
are fine.
marketing it, they made those points, but that's not what they're doing in practice, and that's
But-
the problem.
wait
Yeah.
a minute, though.
Oh, okay.
As far as drugs go, I think they should be legal anyway, because for fuck's sake, they're giving you the majority of the drugs legally prescription, and that's how they become the drugs. People just turn around and sell the things or fuck with them to make them different. And also, the ones that they're not giving you, like marijuana, it's not a fucking drug.
it's not
It's
it's
plant.
not the majority of the marijuana that they have a major issue with. It's the Libertarian Party is now running on, well, how about you guys just vote us in and we'll legalize heroin and crack and
I
cocaine
think they
and everything
should.
else.
It's your
Yeah.
body. Do what the fuck you want.
No,
I think
no,
there
no,
should be like a center where you can go, and that's where you get
No,
your
no,
drugs. and that's where you
absolutely.
can be high.
Absolutely. My problem is incentivizing drug addicts to vote for those specific politicians to give them drugs, not legalizing the use of those drugs and or providing treatment for these people. I really
Well-
need to make that
Yes.
distinction.
Yeah, I don't think they should be able to run on that platform because I don't think it should be a platform to run on. If they realize the fact that drugs, they're not really illegal. It's not a law. Like they had to go through a whole thing, make an amendment to the Constitution to prohibit alcohol, but they didn't do that for anything else. They just say, we said you can't do this now, so you can't. It's legislation. It's not law. The Supreme Court has made a distinction between the two. It's
Yes.
not illegal. It's just against their legislation for you to do drugs.
Well, imagine a politician running on what do you call it? I'm gonna let you kill stupid people. I'm sure they would win, but should they have the right to be able to just be like, well, okay, well, you now infringe on other people's bodies?
Lucky, I believe that we've actually stumbled upon a pretty good example why such crazy laws have not been established around the world. In that, yeah, people, basically the majority of the people are reasonable people. And besides, this is basically how we define being reasonable, like going with the majority of the people most of the time, at least. In any case, I believe that you wouldn't find a modern, I emphasize modern society where people would actually vote for such laws as kill anybody or whatever. The movies like The Purge, we all know it's fantasy and it wouldn't come to pass.
Well, I don't know that.
Well,
you meant-
hands up. Who would vote for a purge?
Well,
if the
but
politician ran on, you can't see it, but I'm holding my hand up. I'll do it.
We got three then. We have three because I seen Beard Berrien right away.
I've been training for this for all my life, man.
And I'm going straight to Beard Berrien's house with all of my weaponry, and we will slay.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the question. Dang it! I got distracted by the Twitter. What happened? What are we slaying?
Oh, we were voting on whether we should bring the purge in, and then we can actually fix all the political issues in the country over one night.
Oh, fuck yeah! Let's have the purge,
Because I wouldn't go after I'd go straight after the politicians.
dude. My kids would be locked up safely and securely in the house with my husband, and I would be fucking out.
But that's the other thing I've been going on about is why are all these people continuously asking the government they're unhappy with, as they are, to give them the changes that they want? Clearly that's not going to happen. And on the topic of censorship and controlling our speech, that's also pretty screwed up. Since what did we just fucking introduce? That Peterson legislation, where now you have to call people a certain thing in front of them or behind their back. You have to do it, or it's going to be against the law. We have our stupid anti-Islamophobia bill coming in, and like now you can't speak ill of Islam. But then we also have our what's the anti-Jewish
It's
thing
not
called?
just speak ill; it's criticize by any means.
Sure.
Any defamation league? I mean, what do you mean anti-Jewish?
Oh, no, there's the anti-Semitism. We have a bunch of anti-Semitism laws now. We have a bunch of
That's
anti-Islamophobia laws.
bullshit. We rule the
Not
fucking world. We don't need you, Goyim, to help us. Well, I know. I'm just saying, Loki.
Canada,
I hear
that's
all
all.
this shit. I hate to tell Canada, and I hate to tell all y'all. Us Jews don't need y'all. We rule the world as it is. Don't try to be like anti-Semitism laws and shit. Are you crazy? What do you want us to do? Just fucking completely take over? Just let us be people, and we don't need any help.
So there's a funny story behind Canada's anti-Semitism laws that I love to bring up. So during the Holocaust, Canada actually put a ban on bringing in any Jewish refugees or survivors. We cut them all off and said no more. And it was very savage, and we weren't the only ones doing it. It was actually very common practice at the time. But we did this, and we cut them all off, and then all the horror stories started really coming out, and so Canada opened up the gates again and got so guilt-ridden that they made these ridiculous anti-Semitism laws to go ahead and make up for the fact that they had let so many people die and just kick them off the boats.
Are only French people and a fringe minority of people in America, like 10% of American, like how many people can be completely angered by guilt tripping, by constant guilt tripping? Like
Every Catholic.
How long will it take? How long will it take?
Look at the English. They don't give a fuck. They straight up wouldn't let the Romanov family come to their country, and they were related. They're like, no. Y'all stay over there and die. We don't want your shit over here. They don't give a fuck.
Yep, history was far less kind until recent generations, and it's really difficult for a lot of people to understand that, and I think that's part of where a lot of modern misunderstandings are at in a lot of our conventions, such as how we're electing our leaders in Canada, as Loki's mentioning with the drug thing. Part of the problem with that in Canada is that particularly in Ontario and in Alberta and BC, our overdoses are a huge problem, especially inside of our Native communities, and nobody likes to talk about it. I work with a couple of individuals that work for different drug and STD-related study agencies, and there's a real problem, and it's fucking embarrassing for our governments. They don't want to talk about it, and they just want to keep a firm clamp on these drug laws. But if people are going to go ahead and run on platforms where they say, well, I'm going to make this drug legal, those people who don't normally vote, because we have really low voter turnout, will come out in droves to vote them in just for these things and propagate an already massive problem that needs to be dealt with first. So it's not so much an issue of drugs should or shouldn't be legal, it's that we need to clean up the mess that our government has created by burying its drug problem before we can go ahead and give it a richer environment through which to prosper.
But most of the drugs that people are dying because of, they are legal. That's the point that I was trying to make earlier. Like, every friend that I know who died because of drugs, they died because of stuff like bars, stuff that you can get over the counter that they will just hand out to you.
Right now, it's mostly heroin, meth. There's a lot of this really crack problems.
Huge, just huge. Yeah. Wait, am I allowed to swear on here?
Oh, I swear.
Yes, you can say whatever the fuck you want, my motherfucking nigga.
Awesome. Yeah, no, meth is horrible. What's the new thing that's been going around?
Fentanyl's been getting into everything.
Yeah,
crocodiles down south and south central. There's a lot of shit going around.
Bath salts are fucking crazy right
now. Bath salt. I mean,
oh my god! That stat I just read. Over 120 people were eaten alive because of bath salts. Yep. There was a stat out there. They just earlier last week, 120 people fucking cannibalism because of bath salts.
Dude, it's weird. It makes people want to eat. It makes people want to eat other folks. I'm sorry, man.
Literally, the zombie apocalypse, guys. Get your guns.
Yeah. I was just saying that, yeah, that is going to be the zombie apocalypse. It's going to be because of drugs. I've always thought that. But there was a lady, she ate her baby because of bath salts.
Oh, shit. I didn't read that one.
Fucking
I'm ready, my Canuckian brother. My Glock 17 is ready to rock. And I've got several firearms. All I will say is, where I live, we don't really worry about the zombie apocalypse because The like hot break-ins where I live are nil. Nobody breaks into somebody's house up here when they think they're home, and people very rarely break into people's house for fear that they will be home, because everybody's got a sign out front that says, "Never mind the dog, beware of owner."
I
The
think
town that I live in
you
is
are
much
safe
the
from
same.
the zombie invasion, simply because the zombies right now keep to the universities, mostly to the humanities.
Well, you know, but you
departments.
heard what he's saying, like the bath salts. Look, well, I will say this though, Loki, and everybody, panel, bath salts should not be illegal. If somebody wants to eat bath salts or whatever, I don't know what they do. They smoke them, shoot them, whatever the fuck they do with them. When they want somebody to eat bath salts, eat bath salts. Come and try to eat me after that. I will fucking kill you. I'll kill you and feed you my Doberman dog or my chickens. They will both eat human beings.
I think there should be like centers that you should be able to go to if you want to do these drugs. Like people should be able to build them, and there's jobs and shit right there. And if you want to do bath salts, they can lock you in a room by yourself while you're high. Then you can't eat no fucking body.
Fucking A.
The problem is that there are a lot of centers in Canada. They have a lot of drop-in centers for young youth who are in the streets and are high. They have one rule: don't bring the drugs in, but be as high as you fucking want.
And you do the drugs there, because it would probably be more dangerous to be traveling fucked up.
That's what they're opening all over Toronto and all over Vancouver. Vancouver has a lot of safe injection sites. You show up with all your drugs. They provide you with clean utensils to do the drugs, and then you can pretty much have to get the fuck out afterwards. I don't think they let you sleep in there or pass out inside.
No, they don't let you stay in the safe use sites. No. Not those ones.
But yeah, they give you a safe place with clean stuff to inject yourself and then be on your merry way.
We actually do have a lot of funding that goes towards that.
Yes.
There's a lot of amazing groups. That is a thing here. However, that's them starting to deal with the problem, and it meets a lot of resistance. So the problem just keeps getting bigger.
I feel like the government, for a large portion of the government, actually wants to fund these places because it's costing the taxpayers way too much money to actually now treat people that are dying of drug-related diseases, including HIV, that's actually being spread. But I also kind of find it weird that the Liberal government's like, hey, why don't we not deal with the issue of drug addicts running around and sharing needles and just deal with the needles themselves? We'll just give them clean needles, and that should solve the problem.
But, oh shit, I was going to say something and I forgot now. Damn, I hate when I do that.
It must have been a lie, my granddad would say, but continue.
The other thing is that both Siggy, half of my channel, and her dad are in the Canadian health situation. They both deal with this stuff, and they've both been talking about marijuana being slowly legalized through regular legislation and reform and new policies coming in. And they're like, this is useless for a government, for a politician to actually run on it. It's just completely dishonest when it's been in the works behind the scenes for like the better half of the last 10 years. And what's been happening recently? Same thing. It always happens when you elect a politician. Nothing. He's just been slowly falling behind on it and further and pushing back the legalization date. And the other thing that really pissed me off a few weeks ago was when the police chief, it was one of the police chiefs, I think, came out and said, please don't allow people to grow it at home, because that will cause a problem. Like, what are you talking about? No, absolutely. They can't tax it. They can't start arresting people for selling it illegally.
Yeah.
They can't tax it, but also on the other hand, it's gonna make the houses desirable. Like people, like there are people that says that well, you know, people in Switzerland actually grow their weed at home. Yeah, but half of the homes in questions, like half of the family knows how to shoot a gun, and they got them inside the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the reason why it's not a problem is that you know that if the motherfucker's drawing pot and the motherfucker has got 2 shotguns, 3 handguns, and probably even better.
Jeremy, this is really off topic, but I love your gi. It makes me want to fondle your beard while I kiss you on the lips.
Okay.
No.
Oh, I'm not gay. I mean, I say that in a heterosexual way. I don't mean like, I mean kissing with my tongue and all, but I don't mean like in a gay. I don't, not a gay way, not a gay way. Just because he's not.
This one was actually manufactured by the Norris family.
Nice. You have to say no homo after Ogre. Sorry.
Yeah, no, man. It's not. I'm not gay. I just think he's hot. I'd suck his dick. No, I'm just teasing. It's only a joke. It's all a joke. It's just a jolly joke.
Yeah, he just cradled the balls.
Yeah, maybe a hand job, or something like that. He couldn't come in my face though. That's my rule. Anyway, because look, it's so heavy to me. We'll do some more dick jokes in about an hour. It's fine.
And panel, I would like to introduce Mrs. Grimm, aka
Hi.
Mrs. Birdbarian.
Hello.
Hey, honey.
Oh, it's the missus. Hi. I like
Yes.
missuses.
Me too. I think we all like her.
She may have trouble with her microphone. She had some trouble with it last time. So if she doesn't respond for a bit, it's because she's fucking around
It's
with that.
groovy. I'm actually Beard. I'm not going to say much on air right here, but I do want people to know that I dig what you do to help me. You help me a lot, and you're probably going to be getting a package in about 42 days. There will be something. If you're kind enough to give me your PO box or some place that you could get a package, you probably get a package, and that will allow you to be able to get a mic for your missus because your computing problems will be solved at that point.
Fuck yes, I will do so. Thank you, sir.
Britisher, have you been listening at all, or are you just jumping in? This is a little bit of madness. This is the first hour of Dankula, and we really technically only have 7 more minutes left. I started out with a happy little tune, and then I just let these folks go because I'm flustered, Britt. You know, and I'm also very transparent. When we were talking this morning on just back and forth, I'm not kidding, man. I was trying not to, and I understand. I got to have a stiff upper lip. I'll never let these people see me do it. But I couldn't help it, man. One silver tear ran out of this side, Britisher, right like this. It dribbled down into my mustache, and it made its way over my top lip, and I tasted a wee bit of salt. And I thought, well, that's plenty enough of that, isn't it? But I did weep for that man and thinking of what they're putting him through right now.
Well, he isn't down yet. That's worth considering.
No, but Britt, listen. Have you ever had a parking ticket, sir?
No.
Have you ever had any ticket? Have you ever had any run-in with the law whatsoever?
I have had someone wanting to sue me once. He didn't come off well.
Okay, but that said, you've never had. So what I'm trying to tell you is, without trying to drag too much of your personal life into it, like I already did, like a dickhead. What I'm trying to say is, until you understand, the best part would be if he got 60 days. What has led up to this point will not be alleviated by a verdict of not guilty. He has, I don't care. And Dank, please, with all due respect, brother, I've been through what you're going through and worse. I thought I was staring down 15 years one time, man. I ain't even joking. If anybody finds out who I am, they'll easily be able to find it out because I ain't been a good person my whole life. I was a black sheep. I love to fucking buck the system, and the system will buck back. And so while the system was bucking back, I was staring down 15 years in prison. And I didn't obviously do those. I didn't even do a day. I got like a tether and some don't do it again, bad boy. But what's happening now to him, Britisher, is inexplicable to a man that's never awaited the dock.
Well, it's, what makes it so inexplicable is the fact that it is so difficult to discern what he's supposed to have done wrong.
I must say, Britisher, I'm going on a tangent. Nachi Free is a quite good aesthetical surgeon.
He's good. He actually, the Britisher fixed it up. I don't want to get it way off track. We'll probably talk about it in the second hour, but I didn't change anything Nachi did on mine, but don't get me wrong. The one that I put up, I actually put my character up because I kept looking at it. My teeth ain't perfect. That son of a bitch drew every crooked teeth I got. This one's a little yellower than the rest. He drew it. I mean, if you want something that's fake and flourishy, ask Nachi to do a caricature or tell him you want a portrait that makes you look good. If you just give him a picture and say, draw this, he will draw you and you will be looking at you. And it sometimes is not the most wonderful thing you've ever had happen, but he is an excellent artist.
He's very, very good.
No, I think you actually fixed some things. I'm not going to say what, but I'm looking at your avatar now. I think some things are different. They look great.
In Canada is the only thing I can discern right now.
Okay. Yeah, because of beard burying.
What in the what now?
It's cold there.
Oh no, I've been sitting on this balcony in the humid since 6 a.m. It is now 1 p.m. I've been streaming since I woke up.
Are you kidding me? What did I miss? What stream were you on that I missed? I would have been watching.
I woke up at 6 a.m. to a message on Twitter from Roy of Very Nearly Viral asking for my beard assistant, so I joined him. And then after that, Magog was very bored, so I streamed with him as an announcement for tomorrow's stream that I'm hosting. And now I'm here.
Did
Well,
Roy
not so much
start a
Magog, but you
TikTok?
tell very nearly viral, man. If he don't get a hold of me, I will be personally offended because the ice cream thing he did, and plus his wonderful, marvelous beard, it makes me want to talk to him in a future debate. So, and yeah, I do dig Magog also, but I think that we have something coming up between the two of us also, sir. But, great guy.
If I may just, what have we so far been talking about regarding Dankula then?
Yeah, sorry, Brett. I would just you threw me
approaching
off.
parliaments and governments to change their laws through submitting letters to our MPs, and hopefully getting the people of Scotland to send in a shitload of letters to try and get some reformation to the laws. And
He said the Jews of Scotland, right?
Well, that won't really work because it's that whole it's not about the individuals, it's about the state and the state taking offense on their behalf. So that means that people have just got to send in letters directly to their parliament.
We are talking of Scotland, where until not too long ago, really, it was pretty much the domain of the Labour Party. And what you have to understand is that Labour lost Scotland to the Scottish nationalists because the Scottish nationalists outflanked them on the left. So if the Conservatives here would already equate roughly to your Democrats, the Labour Party are left of the Conservatives, and the Scottish nationalists are left of the Labour Party. So that's why you have to consider this being, virtue signaling nirvana, what is happening up there, if you know what I mean. And I think that's why Dankula has got a feeling that he's up for it, because he has the feeling that he is effectively being made the sacrificial lamb in order to show how virtuous Scotland is and how defensive of the Jews and other minorities.
Yeah, I'm definitely with him on that one, and that's been my fear about it as well.
Oh yeah, he's their example of what they will do to YouTubers. Pretty much is what they're doing.
Yes,
you will burn the witches. Look,
he is the scapegoat.
Yeah.
Well, what exactly is it that he's being charged with?
Hate
That's
crime.
the thing.
Yeah, I hate crime. It's very ambiguous. I got to show one thing though, because people probably I don't know. Sometimes British are after the whole debacle with a certain guest that I was supposed to have. I feel like I wonder, do people even think this is real? But this is I'm not going to show our personal communiques. I did show him the video I did for him today, and I hope I did that quick enough nobody could see some of the things I said. But Dank is a man. He's a human being. He has a heart in his chest. It pumps blood. And you see this man that's a Glaswegian bouncer and has gauged ears and a ring through his nose and these tattoos on his chest, and you think you want to. I'm just saying, one wants to think that that this. Listen, he's a human being. If you were to take a needle and pierce his finger, red blood would pour forth. If you were to slap him, it would hurt. If you were to hurt someone he loves, he would feel empathy and sorrow. And the guy, he's so cool that because I did a stupid song earlier. I'm stuttering because this guy makes me, I'm not going to weep, Britisher. I got a stiff upper lip right now. I'm on air. But this touches my heart, mate. I told him I'm going to play this song, Joe Strummer, the one I did. And I'm going to play this for you, Dank. I know you're busy, mate. Hang in there. He said, thanks very much, dude. It means a lot. And I said, it's an honor to stand with you. If you go into jail, and I'm showing y'all, I didn't just say that today. You can look, this is an hour ago. This thing started an hour ago. So this was right before I went on air. I told him if he goes into jail, I said, it's an honor to stand with you. If you go in, I will smoke no kind until you're free. My version of a hunger strike. Cheers, right? He says, thanks, bro. So to anyone that wonders why I would do that, or if I was serious, yes. If Dankula does 1 day in jail or 1 year in jail, this ogre will not touch the vaporizer, the bong, and I grow pot. It's legal here. I've got all the weed I could care to smoke. But just like some of those poets of old that went to prison for writing a Scottish poem, Britisher, and their friends went on hunger strikes on the outside, and some of them died. They died. They starved themselves to death. I was looking into that today. It's amazing. I won't smoke no weed. And I'm not going to ramble, Beer Baron, or you're going to have to cut me off like you did before, because I'll just ramble. This stuff touches my heart. And when this guy, after I said, cheers, mate, he says, thanks, bro. He did the same thing. Sargon is so fucking cool, man. I got to give it up for that dude. I hope that if anything, if I stay where I'm at, or if I have someday a bunch of subs, I hope that I can be like Sargon is. And if I see someone and they're, you know, talented, now don't get me wrong, if they're, you know, it's merit based, if there's something that's doing something, I hope that I would always give a hand up. But I also hope that I would be like Dankula. And even though Sargon's done that for himself, he's done that for the Britisher. You know what? The Britisher's still my friend. If anything, he's showed me more attention since he's become quasi-famous than he did before he was anybody. We get a hold of each other every day. And to hear that from this man, and now I will shut up. It's stiff upper lip, Brett. But I tell you, Britisher, to have him even, he'll never forget his friends. He's that kind of mate. He really is, Brett. He's that kind of mate. He could be as big as Father Christmas, and I guarantee he'd always return my tweet because he's that kind of mate.
Well, what I mean, I've told you earlier, you know, I've also mentioned it to Dankula, you know, that I just find it ridiculous how they've scheduled his court case in Airdrie Sheriff Court, which is in the middle of nowhere, which is precisely, you know, in order to keep people away. I'm absolutely certain of that.
Oh yeah.
Do you mind telling people how it might have been different if he was? I got to be really careful, Brett. How may it have been different, Britisher, if he would have been tried in Glasgow for you?
Well, you know, I just think that, you know, people might have turned up if it was, you know, not to demonstrate, not to cause trouble, but even if just to watch.
Just sit in the gallery and be quiet.
Yes, precisely. But it's happening in Airdrie Sheriff Court, and Airdrie is a very small little place, and it's between Edinburgh and Glasgow. Now, I could be completely wrong. It could be something that is completely within the normal, regular legal process in Scotland. I don't know Scottish law or the goings-on of Scottish law, but the man is from Glasgow. And it isn't as if Glasgow isn't the largest city in Scotland and wouldn't have its own courts.
So either the court is overcrowded and that's why he's bumped, or they actually, you know, like that's the question that I asked in the side chat. Is there such a thing as behind closed door trials in Scotland?
I very much doubt it.
Not in criminal cases. They're not supposed to be. No. But I'll say this. You know what they didn't want, Britisher? They didn't want, because he even said the reason it's so tough right now is because he goes down the road and there's people holding their arm at the door. Nazi pug dog. All right. You know, they're like, oh, how you doing, lad? You're the Nazi man. And it's not like they're mad. He's a celebrity where he's at. So what I see is two things, because I looked at that map you sent me. That is in the middle of bleeding nowhere. They got him in the cow pasture somewhere.
It's pretty much right between Edinburgh and Glasgow.
And so they didn't want, what they were afraid of, I think, is two things. They were afraid of gentlemen like yourself that would have wore their best Sunday get up and would have went there and you know, just sat in the gallery. And they were also afraid of the turnout that would have been outside the courthouse that Dank has so manly just said, don't do it. But they were probably afraid of those two things.
Maybe also they might have been worried about, you know, trolls turning up. Who knows?
Well, and that goes with the people outside. That's what I mean. And listen, if you show up to Dankula's trial and you do anything but wear your best suit, wear your best dress, keep your fucking mouth shut and sit there and say nothing, you're a piece of shit.
Dude, there's a certain suit. Do not wear it to the trial. You all know what I'm talking about. Don't fucking go up there wearing that.
What, the birthday suit?
No, the Nazi uniform.
Yeah, I know. So listen, we're gonna
Hugo Boss.
And we have Conscious Caracal just popped in. So listen, I've got to go on to $3,000 beach balls and Trump Scoopgate and Trump Traitor and all this other stuff. I really do. Because you know why? I'm going to say why. I could talk about Dankula and for 4 or 5 hours easy. But you know what? Dankula doesn't want me to. He doesn't want me.
If you're going on to something a bit more lighthearted, perhaps I may be able to open with something here. Because
what I want to do, Brett, if you'll do this, I hate to even do this, but I'm just, let me take over, folks. What I want to do is I want everyone on the panel right now, if you so care to, and there'll be no one, least of all Dankula, will be offended if you don't. If you have just about 20 seconds of words you'd like to give to Dank, I'll wrap it up, church, and then we'll let Britisher catapult us into something that Count Dankula would like to fucking listen to much more than this drivel that we've been spouting, because I'm sure that right now his asshole is hurting from all of the love fest that we've been throwing. So Amanda Wolfchild, if you have anything, I know you started us out, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just very shortly, if everyone, and I'll give your name, Amanda, if you have anything you'd like to say to Dank before we end this segment, I'd appreciate it. And so would he.
We all love you, Dank, and if nothing else, blame the dog.
Jeremy?
Love you, pal, and be strong. Be strong, because it's gonna suck.
Yep. Conscious Caracal, I know you just got here, but you're very wise. If you have anything to say, go ahead.
I can only say that, Dank, we're all behind you, and whatever the outcome, we'll be here. We'll always be cheering you on. We'll be here when you get out, even in the worst case scenario. You'll always be welcome. Your name has not been tarnished in our eyes.
Oh, man, so well said. And the voluptuous and lovely Mrs. Beard Berrien, if your microphone is working. If not, I'll skip on to Loki. In 5, 4. Yeah, I think she's had microphone problems. I'm sure that she would say something wonderful to you. She has been an encouragement to me in my life, and I know that she means so much to the Beard Berrien. I think he would be a sniveling drivel without her. So, Loki, if you have something to say.
Whew, okay. I'm really sorry that this is happening to you, and I still don't understand how the actions of a dog are reflecting. I guess they could reflect, but nevertheless, these are the actions of a dog that they're being portrayed as a hateful crime. And I understand how the dog is on trial, but I wish you all the best luck. And I'm still gonna sit here contemplating what the fuck is happening in this world.
That's why I said blame the dog.
Yeah.
The dog had a better lawyer.
all right, folks, I got to keep a little semblance. Very good, British. Very good, everybody. They're very good. So, Doppelganger, weigh in.
Dankula, mate. If you spend even one day in jail, that's an unjust society, plain and simple. Shame on them. And remember, the internet never forgets. Whenever you get back to us, if we will be there, we will not forget, and we will welcome you back. Be well.
Oh, man, it's so hard for me to quit presenting what he put up here by Henry David Thoreau. In an unjust society, the only place for a just man is prison. Thank you so much, Doppelganger. Beard Berrien, I know that you must have something interesting to say.
After you finish eating.
Yeah. He'll do it. I seen he was chewing. I gotta bust his balls. He's better than me, so I gotta make him look bad every chance I get. Britisher, if you want to go ahead while he's finishing chewing, I'll see when he's unmuted. And we'll
he's talking. But
you're muted. You're muted. Go ahead, Beard Berrien. Unmuting.
I'm hitting the wrong goddamn buttons. Yes. No, I'm good. Breakfast, streaming all day. I contacted Dank very briefly to express my support. I'm very concerned with this trial. Whatever happens there, I feel is going to end up being used as an example for process here, because our government doesn't like to think on its own. It likes to point outside and go, let's do that. One way or another, we will be here waiting confidently for him upon his return. And hopefully the people of Scotland will rise up and approach their governing officials and see to some sort of reformation of this ridiculous law.
Oh, thank you so much, Beard. Thanks, everybody, for keeping it brief. Britisher, if you want to put a cherry on top of this before I wrap it up.
Well, Dankula, when they try and give you a hard time, remember that you are of the nation of Robert the Bruce and William Wallace.
And
it will take a little more to break the likes of you.
Wow, well said. I know who both those people are from history books, but you know what, mate? I did this stream for you, so I'm going to say two things to you. One thing, watch out for your butthole, dude. Don't drop the soap because they will fuck you. And two, listen, man, they can kill you, but they can't eat you. They got to let your ass out of that jailhouse one day or another. So that said, Britisher, did you have something you wanted to segue us into? Something more pleasant than maybe the imprisonment of one of our friends? Because just before I mentioned the kind of the leftiness that we're experiencing, there is something here which is just too good to miss. It's from the BBC here. It's the Greens have recently published their manifesto. So I've put the link in the side chat. And you know, some things just you know, one needs to see to believe. Yeah, go ahead. Do you want me to read this? It says General Election 2017, Greens aim to end, period, poverty. The Green Party of England and Wales is promoting free sanitary products for those who cannot afford them. And if much more of this needs to be read and you don't want laughter, go ahead.
So please, if you could just please tell me to So here are once again the Greens producing a manifesto pledge, which obviously is for both genders, right?
No, it doesn't look like it, sir.
No.
No.
You have to understand that the Green Party have only one MP. And she was once berated by the Speaker of Parliament and sent out because she entered the parliamentary chamber with a T-shirt that read, "This is what a feminist looks like." So like this, you've now got a sort of a rough idea of what the Green Party is. It's just a shame that Holly isn't here, because I think she is a Green Party candidate, is she not, Olga?
I'll run and give her a link. I'll see what I can do, but she's a very busy girl. She is a Green Party member, and she's always working. I said to her at the time that clearly in America the Green Party is not quite the same thing as it is over here. Because, over here, they're now wanting to give away free sanitary products to end period poverty.
Okay, here's the thing. I can get behind the, like any products that are related to periods being more taxed than my shavers, that my shaving material. I can get behind that. Like basically having an equal taxation, I can get behind that. But handing out the product for free, like, so do I get, my shaving material for free as well? You know what I mean?
No. It's funny that you should mention shaving material, Jeremy.
They're asking for that too, aren't they?
Yes, that's the case, unfortunately.
Okay,
no, it's just,
you guys haven't noticed, there has been a hashtag recently that says boys can have periods too. Just so we get that across right now.
Hang on, go ahead.
Spectrum, and you can be a boy or a girl as you please. So if a woman on the other side starts identifying as a man, then a man can have periods too, and therefore this is fully just on everyone's side.
This is fucking retarded.
I think the Beardbarian for a moment there lost the will to live.
Didn't we all?
A long time ago.
And no, but do you understand, like, outside of the feminist stripe bullshit, like, can you understand where the idea is coming from ladies that are asking that change when there is actually something unjust in the taxation? Can you understand? Can you get behind?
I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
It is just that when it's suddenly a matter of the state needing to hand out free sanitary products.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. Like free condoms in high schools, for example. Yeah, I can get behind that because them motherfuckers are gonna fuck anyway. So, like.
But they do give you free sanitary products already. Like when you take your health class, when they explain to you what your period is, you get a razor, you get deodorant, you get pads and tampons. You get all the things so that you'll know what they are. You get like a.
You got samples at your class?
Yeah, and the boys get stuff too.
I got fucking ripped off.
Shaving cream. They get aftershave. They got all kinds of stuff. When you have.
I got a lame class with PowerPoint.
I went to school in New Mexico, and I was only in like the 5th grade when they were like, "Here, we're gonna give all of y'all a class on puberty, and you get these little sample bags."
Like over here, you know what? Over here, Beardarian, like in France, when you are at your first year of high school and you have sex ed, like about contraception, like you're given 3 boxes of free condoms. You're given 3 boxes of free condoms and a tube of lube,
which is nothing really.
Was that a weekend?
On that kind of funny note, when I was 16, I used to work for a small charity going from high school to high school in the Rockies, teaching sex ed to other young men from the 9th through the 12th grade, where I gave out such fun samples as dental dams, which I would blow bubbles with and pretend like it was bubble gum, until inevitably a student would ask, "Hey, can I have a piece of gum?" Because I was all chummy and they're equal, and I go, "Yeah, everybody got a dental dam, and all right, put this in your mouth." And I go, "What the fuck, man?" Well, if you ever expect a woman to give you head,
a dental dam,
and not mouth herpes, you gotta if she's gonna use the flavored condom, you're gonna use the flavored dam. Now get fucking used to it. And
so you did use. I was peeing while you said that. I nearly peed on myself. So you would blow bubbles with a dental dam to get the children.
Well, because you just
good.
blow the air out and then suck it back in, right? And
no, that's funny. That's actually very effective, sir. That was great. I will say, I got to interject too. My wife got her tubes tied for free. She never paid for birth control. She got her tubes tied when she was 23. They wanted to talk her out of it. She started trying when she was 22, but she filled out the appropriate paperwork. I won't tell y'all what we made a year when she got it paid for. But if you think that in America, a woman can't get an abortion for free or get birth control for free, if she can't, she's fucking lazy. She won't do the paperwork. My wife and I were making, I can't say because I don't want to say what we made ever, but we've always done well. And that year that they paid for tubes to get tied, I almost shit myself because I could have paid cash for the operation. It wouldn't have broke my bank even in the least bit. But she filled out the stuff and got it done. So anybody that thinks that they throw some, and I'll go on a tirade, Britisher, because the rumor is, in America, if you don't have insurance, they throw you. No one has ever been thrown in the street being sick. Everybody gets the same treatment. In fact, if you're poor and don't have insurance, you get better treatment. You just owe the money. Just like if you wreck somebody's car, you owe the money. So there you go, boom. So yes, the idea of free birth control. Hey, man, in the USA, all this stuff, I wonder why all this propaganda, because it's already here. You can go to the health center, you can get free birth control, you get free condoms, free dental dams, free classes on how to not get pregnant, free everything.
Wait.
I think people are just watching too many movies where that's part of the plot. And it seems to be a general problem with a lot of people these days is they think that movie plots are reality.
We have the comparisons people making to Harry Potter in political discourse is fucking pathetic.
Yes,
even your congressmen now in America think that some movie plots are actually real, and when basically informative technology people are saying no, you can't do that. Actually, it's actually undoable, and they get weirded out.
Bukowski was right, man. Bukowski was right.
Jeremy, are you speaking about the inconvenient truth?
Yeah, like for example, I don't remember which one it was, but basically there was a congressman somewhere in America that was basically proposing something when it comes to surveillance, and basically motherfuckers saw that in a movie, and basically IT people, even in the CIA, said, "No, dude, it's not that we don't want to do it; it's that what you're asking is actually undoable."
Yeah, it's impossible. But I gotta go. Kiddo got home, so. I gotta run.
Thanks, Amanda Wolfchild. Should we be expecting a bunch of more videos from you anytime soon? Or are you still in the process of getting settled in?
Yeah, it's every time I tell people that I've got shit all figured out.
Don't say it then.
New comes up. Like my father-in-law just had to have surgery on his elbow, so I've had to be helping out a lot because he can't really use his arm. So I've been helping out a lot at their house lately. So I'm no longer going to say that I've got my shit together.
Okay. And
that shit happens.
And by we I mean me. Really miss your videos, man, especially the ones where you fuck people up, where you like cuss them out and say they're stupid. Those are and I don't know many people that can do that. Most of the time when I watch something like that, I'm like, what a dick. But you have really good talent there, and your talent is being a dick, Amanda. I love you.
Yeah, I'm good at that. I'm a cunt. What can I say?
Cheers. Thank you so much for swinging by.
All right, thanks, y'all. It's great talking to you.
I'm going to hit you next Wednesday now. You know I don't abuse you, but next Wednesday you'll get a link. If you can swing by, sweet thing.
Oh, yeah,
see you, Amanda.
Bye.
See you out.
Man, I love that girl. So, and we can talk about this all day, the birth control thing, but I've got it. Look, we got to get into this stuff. One thing before beard burying, because I'm looking at him, he's yawning, he's dying. What I want to do is...
no, I'm just really stoned, man.
Okay, so can I wait until the top of the hour before we go to Thelemic Magic? Because right now I got 40 minutes to cover Scoopgate and Trump Traitor, and then I need your time on this. And if you don't feel like it today, I want your best A game, man, because I don't hear a lot of what you said. And I was an apologist for a Christian church for a while. I'm still affiliated with some kind of belief system that I won't name for another 4 months or 6 months, whatever it was I said. Britisher, I would like to wrap up this pregnancy thing, the old tampon thing, because look, let me wrap it up this way, Brett. In England, can a girl go to some kind of health? And what am I saying? There's a national doggone health thing there. A girl can go and get anything, right?
Not really. You won't just be able to go in.
Well, they can get breast implants. You have the most breast implants per capita because all a girl has to say is that if she feels bad about her little tits, and they'll put breast implants in. That's a fact.
I don't think it's quite that simple to get it done.
The breast implants?
Most of the breast implants are actually done privately.
Oh, but you have the most. I was just reading about it, bro. There are so many national healthcare system breast implants right now. Your country leads the world in per capita breast implants because all a citizen of Britannia has to do is go and say, "I'm really depressed." Now they have to.
We already led the world in per capita breast implants before the NHS ever got involved.
Well, yeah, but right now you give out a whole lot of free ones, a ton of free ones.
If you excuse the pun.
But before, yeah, no, it was wonderful. But before I go and argue with you on which is more, I'm gonna bet you £5 if you're game that there are 30% more free ones than bought ones.
I very much doubt that. You know, I'm not the betting kind.
Oh, I know, but I'm the religious kind, and I have very much faith in my knowledge. And I'm telling you that it's more like 70% of the breast implants in your country are freebies. Because all they got to do is, like my wife did with the tubes tied, they got to fill out the right paperwork. They got to say, "Oh, my boobies aren't that." What if I could be like, "Look, my penis, and I want my dick. I want to listen, Britisher, I want a 14-inch dick, like that really famous porn star from your country named Danny Dong. Danny Dong, his pecker. I don't know. God bless y'all if you ever seen it. I had the unfortunate thing to see. It looks like a farm animal's tool. It looks like a horse's tool. And so I want one like that, and I'm so bummed out because mine's only 8 inches. I want a fucking 14-inch dong. No, you can't do that.
Motherfucker, when he is erect, when the motherfucker's erect, the horses get depressed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know who Danny Dong is? He said that because he knows that guy. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, I don't know, Loki. I don't know if anybody's tried it, but I bet if I was Brit, I'm betting again. I'm betting like I did before. There's no scientific nothing on this, and then we got to move on from this pregnancy thing where I took it now. It's going off the rails. Even Beard Barian's going to get embarrassed in a second. So
dicks.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it, mate. But so what would happen, Brit? Because you can agree that some women get free breast implants, would you?
Yes.
So what would happen, I'm not going to use you for an example, sir, but what would happen if I was a citizen of Britannia and I went to the NHS and I was like, I'm so bummed out because my penis is only this big and I want it to be this big?
I would think they would put you on antidepressants.
Yeah.
All right. Enough said then, because that's all I wanted. So they would not put penile implant, which there are, in case anybody doesn't know it. If you're rich enough, you can go out and make your penis.
No, I very much doubt you can get. I very much doubt you can get a penile implant on the NHS.
Nope. Okay. All right. I know that's all I'm going to get. That's all I'm going to get. But British,
unless you've been in some terrible accident with a threshing machine or something like that.
Can we just conclude this on? So they detract from the bad teeth with giant breasts.
You bastard, you. And I'll say, hey, man, British people don't have any worse teeth than anybody else. So what's we're going to do? Britisher, I watched the week that was, so I have a couple questions for you, sure, if you could bump us off into some other conversation. The first one being, people in the world would pay, what was it, 2,500 quid for a boomerang and $3,000 for some squash rackets and balls?
That was a link I sent you that I'm definitely intending to put into the, I'm thinking of putting in the next, the week that was.
Okay, sorry.
There is such a thing as a Chanel website, the perfume makers and whatever. And apparently you can get a boomerang for $1,500 with a Chanel logo on. But
that's not excessive at all.
Sorry? But the thing is, it's that has now caused a bit of an uproar because now there are people complaining that this is cultural appropriation. So it's a sort of a story that cuts both ways. One moment you've got the absolute ridiculousness that some people should be paying $3,000 for beach balls or $1,500 for a boomerang, but at the same time you've then also got that the social justice crowd immediately jump on this and start saying that this is robbing from Aboriginal heritage.
Well, they said that they should donate 100%. And I'll go into, this is why I wanted to talk about this story, because it ties so well into Scoopgate, Conscious Caracal, and everybody else wants to talk about it, because it does. You think it don't? Beer Berry, and watch. This is how I'm going to do it. You have people saying that you're bad, and I'm going to say that it's excessive, okay? But if you want to buy, I looked that stuff up, Britt, the racket and balls that they were selling for $3,000, I could get a set for $25 that was actually the same thing with a different brand name on it. Same thing, probably made in the same factory. But if you want to do that, do it. And so I see that this is, it's life imitating art, imitating life. It's the same thing going all around. If we pretend that you can be a cultural appropriator because you have a boomerang that costs you 2,500 quid, hey, whatever. If you want to be a pretentious cocksucker that's got a fucking boomerang, you're going to lose it anyway. And so go ahead and do it. And if you're, it's just a way that I see to say, oh, look at Donald Trump getting Thousand Island dressing. It really is. I know that sounds crazy, probably to everybody here.
Russian dressing.
Oh, it was Russian dressing. But you understand what's Trump got 2 scoops, and he's just as bad as those people. Do you see where I'm tying that in? It's the same thing. They're trying to set us up to think that if you have the money, you shouldn't be able to get what you want. If you're the president of the fucking United States of America, you can't have 2 scoops of fucking ice cream.
But Bernie Sanders can have 3 houses and preach about the poor being exploited.
On top of that, in both the White House and the Élysée Palace, so in France, so the French White House, the protocol is that the cook basically already prepare every plate. Like every plate is already prepared. So if there's 2 scoops of ice cream, it's probably because the cook knows that basically Donnie, good old Donnie, he likes him having an extra bowl of ice cream. You know what I mean? Like basically, his dedicated chef is already aware of the taste of his, main day-to-day client, for fuck's sake. His not only his main day-to-day client and his main day-to-day customer, but his fucking employer, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah, and how did you put it, Britisher, about the? Because you put it really well. You said something about the dressing. Well, how did you put it about the? You said something very cool that I heard.
Well, I don't know what it would have been, but
well, you were making the point that maybe the chef in the back already knew.
Assume that basically the chef just basically thought this is the dressing that goes best with this salad that I'm serving these people. But I know that the president doesn't. That the president has a particular preference, so I'll give him what he wants, but I'll give the rest of them what I think goes best with the salad.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So they're doing something because the man that works for the most powerful human being in the United States of America decided to give deferential treatment to his employer. They're blaming, you see.
Wait, isn't it even preferential treatment? Isn't it just good customer service?
I didn't say preferential. I said deferential. I'm sure everybody knows the difference.
Chances are, I would say, with the ice cream, chances are several times they've served ice cream and Trump has asked for a second scoop, so they just give him 2 scoops, even though it's normal to just serve it with 1 scoop.
What if he's just
I would be willing to bet that if any one of the journalists who attended that dinner would have asked, could I have a second helping of ice cream, they wouldn't have anybody there to protest. They would have just given them a second scoop.
Exactly. Plus,
this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's stupid because it's basically the cook is just following cooking and eating protocol. Basically,
it's irrelevant though. It's ultimately it's all just shit. Have whatever sauce. Oh my god, he has a different sauce. Whoop-de-skip. He has 2 scoops of ice. I eat ice cream by the bucket. I will be the tyrant. You put me in a position of power. Nobody gets ice cream. It's mine, you asshole.
What I find so interesting is, why have the media not investigated how many scoops of ice cream Hillary Clinton has with her cake?
Yeah, and also
I think the FBI already did, but they're giving that information to themselves.
Basically, in all of what is even more egregious and even more frustrating me here is that when it was Obama office, they gave Obama's cook a lot of exposure. Have you ever heard of the professional cook that has been chosen by Donald? Like, who knows? Like, has there been some publications in America talking about the professional chef that Donald Trump chose for himself? I'm pretty sure that the mother.
They're
I'm
not
pretty sure
like
that
sources that I talk to, or at least I look into. Maybe there's some culinary magazines out there. They're like, oh, this guy that we previously thought was nobody is now going to become the cook for one of the most powerful people on the planet. But like, that's not within our circles.
I'm willing to bet that even in culinary magazines, he didn't receive any exposure. I'm willing to put money on it.
Well, all I know is that nobody has asked Theresa May over here how many scoops of ice cream she has with her cake. And I also doubt that Emmanuel Macron has recently been asked how many scoops of ice cream he wants.
No.
Never. You were asking me that, Bridget, the other day, and I want to listen, so because I've been talking an awful lot. But you asked me, did you know what Obama's and did you know the blah? But you went all the way back, and I'm no. So why do you know this one?
Yeah.
I believe in case of Macron, he would be asking his mom. And then he's
actually Macron has been given shit right now because he picked up his government, but he still didn't pick up his professional chef. So right now he's receiving a lot of flack from professional cooks because he still didn't pick up his professional chef. And in France you're supposed to pick your cook before you pick your first prime minister. Just saying. Normally, it's
Emmanuel Macron has also done a Justin Trudeau, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, oh my God! Oh,
so basically exactly half of the people who are the candidates of his party for the parliamentary elections are women, and of his cabinet, which he has appointed, exactly half are women.
Yeah.
So that's very much a Trudeau.
Yeah. I'm telling.
Trudeau actually achieved that? I didn't know he actually managed to pick half and half.
Well, sort of.
What do you manage
to accomplish?
I'm willing to bet. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Baird.
What he managed to accomplish was getting slightly more women on his board than men, but he didn't put women in legitimate positions of authority. He made them junior parliamentary members, which basically makes them all overqualified secretaries. It's fucking hilarious, and they got a quarter of the pay.
And
so it's gender parity. But
yeah,
now he created a pay gap. It's fucking hilarious.
Thanks, Justin.
So it's gender parity. So as my mom puts it, it's gender parity, but just for the photo.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all window dressing.
Yeah.
It's the Weird Al genre of parody.
But I'm willing to bet that parliamentary election is going to look ugly for him anyways.
I can feel the fat trading off of this one, Jeremy. That's also if you want to wrap it up, if anybody's got something to say, because we got more topics. Scoopgate was a segue.
What was of course interesting is that he appointed a conservative prime minister.
Yeah,
which kind of plays into that theme of mine that he is basically a creature created by the establishment. Basically, the two mother parties that effectively created his are now going to be the main beneficiaries of his government.
Yeah. His prime minister is basically on the right side of the aisle. His Ministry of Energy is actually under Nicolas Hulot. So Nicolas Hulot is actually getting to be Minister of Energy and Environment.
I can imagine that the French left aren't too cool with these decisions and these appointments.
We smashed our heads so hard. Like Twitter was looking ugly this morning, dude. Twitter
imagine.
Oh, the French-speaking Twitter, everybody was furious.
I mean, the French left wasn't too keen on Macron from the beginning already, and now he does something. He makes these sorts of appointments. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, there are centrist people, there are right wingers, there are left wingers, and some ultra lefties have gotten some seats as well. Like basically, there's people. I have to give him credit. The legislative election has not been passed yet, and he has already have a very diversified cabinet.
Jeremiah, I'm afraid the chat is starting to notice your crooked glasses.
Huh?
The chat is starting to take notice of your glasses being crooked.
Yeah,
I am
know.
much more interested in the judo outfit he seems to be wearing.
Yeah,
I thought it
tell
was a
us-
Jedi
tell us-
like
He said that comes from a certain person there, Britisher. He told us earlier, but tell us again. I loved it too, Brett.
Yeah, I'm just wearing a judo gi top because right now I'm being cooked by my computers, so it's the freshest thing that I can be wearing. So yeah, I'm wearing my judo gi in my house. And yeah, the brand of that judo gi is actually the official brand of the Norris family.
Aren't you afraid of being accused of cultural appropriation?
That's what I was asking. That's what I was asking in the side chat. Like, do you consider wearing your judo gi outside of a dojo being cultural appropriation?
So what's it? What's the assistant called of the Pink Panther Inspector Clouseau? He's got his assistant Kato, hasn't he? So Kato, any moment now, is going to come and kick your front door down in order to
stop oppressing
the judo outfit.
people.
Yeah. I don't care, mate. I've been practicing judo since I was 6-year-old. Like, if somebody gives me shit for wearing my gi outfit inside my home, like, motherfucker, I've been,
bro.
Yeah.
That gi is a weapon. Who here has seen the old Ultimate Fighting challenges with Dan Severn from Coldwater, Michigan, I might add, with like Hoist Gracie? Does anybody know who any of these people are? Like
I'm raising my hand.
Okay, so because back in the day, Hoist Gracie was the man. Gracie's actually started it. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is still, if you don't have a Jiu-Jitsu game, you ain't even gonna be in the UFC, because eventually it's going to the ground. And if you can't work from your back, if you don't know how to do a triangle, if you don't know how to do an armbar, these are things I was doing before the UFC was there, because my parents were smart and got me into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and also judo. But anyway,
No, I also did martial arts when I was younger, so I'm pretty aware. Yeah.
And that doesn't matter for what I'm talking about. It really doesn't matter, because in the fact of the matter is, Caracal, when it comes to, do you know who Dan the Beast Severn is? You said, or Chemo? Yeah. Do you remember Chemo?
Mm-hmm.
He also fought Hoist Gracie. Man, he beat Gracie up like for 30 seconds until Gracie got him wrapped up, and it got him on top of Gracie. And again, he triangle choked him. It's just where you get somebody's, I can't even put it on camera. You get somebody's head in between your legs in a scissor position.
Yeah,
and
you basically make him tap out.
Yeah, and they can breathe. It's the weird thing. If you put somebody, or if I've been in triangles, I've been choked out in a triangle.
But
it's so weird because you can breathe. Yeah, you can breathe, but you can't. The blood's cut off where your carotids. So you're breathing, and you start to feel this weird feeling, and you like feel the black starts coming in from the outside, and you go to sleep. You go, I wasn't very good at tapping out. So what happened is somebody later on would be waking me up, and I'd be like, "What happened? Did I win?" And they're like, "No, you got choked the fuck out." Well, that's always what you think too. I don't care who you are. I've choked people out, and every time somebody's woke up or I've woke up, the first question is, "Did I win?"
Ogre, I see that we have amassed quite a few links to various news on the site.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry because I got off the track. The point is that key. That was because I love mixed martial arts. We need to have a stream, Beardbarian and Britisher, because you look at the Britisher and you see his things and he's all, "Hello, I'm the Britisher, the week that was, yada yada, so even keeled, and this is the news and whatnot." And I don't know him like I do. I mean, the guy loves boxing. I mean, he don't jump up and down. I've never seen him do that or heard him do that. But he does love things that I love too. So one day we have to have a stream where we talk about pugilism in all of its glorious forms. You know, how we hurt each other in a sportsman-like way. So, all right, well, let's get back on track. Sorry.
Yes.
The gi is a weapon. The gi is a weapon. I mean, it is. You watch Hoist Gracie, he would use it. Somebody would come up on it, he would reach around, grab the gi itself, grab the gi here. And, I mean, they tried to make him take it off in UFC 2. And I don't know if it was real, because it wasn't wrestling as far as the fighting, but the Gracies did own, until they sold it to the Zufas, and Dana White, for those, again, that know UFC. Man, I'm really fucking up. I can't quit talking about it now. Somebody said fighting, Beardbarian. I can't believe you're not jumping in here. It's like, yeah, I'll take my sword and cleave somebody's fucking skull with it. I can't believe it.
Well, it's a different kind of fighting. I don't fight in a ring.
Yeah, but you do crazy shit, dude. The beard burying larks, I guess. What did you actually call it? Because I hate calling you a larper.
We designated it as a harp, a heavy action role play. We fight with basically PVC piping, and we hit like we're playing football. Every game there's somebody's pulled out in a stretcher just about. I lost my memory for 6 months of my life because I took a really good blow to the head while impersonating Quebecois.
I watched your origin story a day back. That's the exact same episode.
Yeah. Now listen, I gotta say this. I'm gonna make a little disclaimer for about 10 seconds. A lot of people have been on streams with me. I've been on streams with them. I've heard all kinds of bullshit like touch them and they die. But I do. Beard Burying plays games until he hurts his friends to the point of hospital or they him. What a crazy moron. I mean, go ahead.
I haven't been fighting much lately because I tore my thumb in the process of some of this shit.
Is that like football, Britisher? Is that what you're going to say? It's no different than football?
I think I can better that. Over here, of course, there are quite a few sort of reenactment groups of all sorts.
Yes. Oh, God. And, we accidentally topped those, and I can tell you how.
And I have seen a display once where you had guys in knightly armor who basically just agreed with each other to kind of do a melee tournament and just basically said, look, okay, just don't, we won't strike the legs. But other than that, it was just a free.
Wait, with what though, Bridget? What strike with what? Hang on, please help me understand. What were they holding to strike with?
These were real weapons. They were blunt, but they were real weapons. These were
swords, maces,
swords. These were maces. Yes.
Oh, mercy.
But because they were in full armor, I mean,
Oh, I know. Knights used to battle for an hour sometimes before they found a cheek. It's not like it was
to kind of hockey stuff or whatever. You know how you can survive unbelievable impacts if you're in sort of an ice hockey outfit or in an American football gear.
Oh yeah.
If you now sort of double or treble that, you're in a kind of you're in this cocoon of a knightly armor.
I used to do that fighting before I joined.
Absolutely batter each other, and it's basically they basically can fight until they're exhausted. It's really just that. It's the exhaustion that sets in because of course the heat that builds up under the armor is enormous. It's the exhaustion that eventually will bring them to a stop.
That would be pretty entertaining just to watch. It would be just interesting to see the dynamics.
It is unbelievably impressive because it gives you an idea of what it would mean to be one of the the poor little sods on a medieval battlefield who's there with a pitchfork, and now suddenly one of these monsters comes towards you. There would be nothing you could do to stop this guy.
One of the things that if one day you are in England near the castle of Hastings during summer, you can probably take part in being a spectator of the reenactment of the Battle of Hastings. And this is what it looks like. Those motherfuckers are serious.
Man, I just got something from Philip. I hate to do this, man, but Philip, how soon is this? How soon did this happen right here? This was yesterday when Erdogan was there talking with Trump. Are you there, Philip? Philip, come in, Philip. Our legal expert and good friend Philip has come on the stream, and he's giving me a little bit of information here. And unless he's not hearing me, I'm just going to go ahead and give it, folks. Apparently, it says Erdogan. How do you say that, Britisher?
Erdogan.
It says Erdogan's Islamofascism comes to America. His bodyguards in suits beat up Kurdish protesters. I want to see the whole thing. I'll say that just like Comey's memo. Before I make any kind of judgment, I want to see the whole thing. But let's take a look at this together. Hope to goodness I don't get some strike because this has been a really good stream, folks. And we got to do the in fact. I don't know. Beard, should I even show this? This is on Facebook. I don't know if somebody owns this, man. I won't even lie. I'm terrified after the other day.
If it's news, don't worry about it.
It's news. It's it says right here, Erdogan. This is coming. There's no stamp on it like I'm just gonna give it a shot. It's news. Well, I guess all I can say is Beard Burying. If this gets struck down, bro, I'll need you a third time. It's good practice because I don't know anybody else that's an expert on Thelemic magic. I really don't.
I'm no expert, but I'm.
Well, we can argue that some other time. But I would just say, let me put it this way: I don't know anyone else that can explain it like you can. Is that fair? All right, so let's look. We can see cops here. Now watch, these are maybe Erdogan's because they're getting through, and boom, dude is beating the shit. I mean, he's beating the crap. Britisher, let me be Britisher. You can see that the boom, he kicked him in the, it looks like the body. They're now kicking this gentleman here in the face right now. Boom, another kick to the face. Another kick to the face. The suited gentleman. I'm assuming, boom, another one. I'm assuming that that's Erdogan, and they said they were beating up Kurdistanian protesters. You can see the bullhorn, fetal position, laying down. I got one thing to say. I really do. And then I want to hear everybody's opinions. And I'm sure at least the Britishers will differ from mine. You come to America and you try to fool with a diplomat in Washington, D.C., you try to shout him down, you're in a free country, folks. And you're free to get your ass kicked if you're a moron. What does anybody else think about that?
Oh man, like this is an all-out brawl. I'm just watching the footage myself on my own right now.
I'll send it out in the chat also. But yeah, everybody, what do you think? Just give me because I just told you very clearly what I thought.
You know, what can I say? So Turkish politics are famously, you know, violent, and I mean we've had people going at each other physically in the Turkish parliament in past years. So in that regard, you have to kind of understand that you look at sort of countries that are mature democracies where we're used to the rules, we know how it works, and then you look at other countries, and I would include Turkey in that, which are not mature democracies, where, you know, frequently then it still can get violent. And the understanding is simply not yet there that some people can disagree with you and not necessarily therefore be the devil.
Yeah, we still have we have footage of basically the parliament in Turkey bursting up in an all-out brawl in 2014, 2015. Like as soon as close to us as 2015, like 2 times in 2015, like an all-out brawl in the middle of the parliament. Like the parliament was a fucking boxing ring.
Yeah, that link I've put in the side chat there, that is Turks and Kurds going at each other in Germany.
Hey, listen, this ties in too, because you know what? Mankind loves this kind of stuff. Conscious Caracal, thanks so much for this. I want to know where this is from. Because those faggots excuse me, can I say faggots? Is that okay? Can I say faggots? Does everybody know what I mean when I say faggots? I don't mean gay.
I've actually seen this. Yes, I've seen it. I think this is Jeremy, tournament.
It's incredibly entertaining.
Well, and let me ask Jeremy. Jeremy, as a bisexual man that's open about it, do you find offense when I say, like, look at these queers or these sissies? I mean, you know what I mean, but I don't ever call you a queer or a sissy. Is that offensive to you?
Come on.
Hey, Nachi. Nachi's in the chat.
Hey,
so you
right after you ask the question, Jeremy's just like, bye, and he
don't even give a fuck. That's how much.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even dignify that with an answer. It was how stupid.
Yeah, just look, seriously.
Oh, gracious. Oh, this is what you were talking about, Brit? They're using fucking axes, mate.
Well, yeah, this is quite.
I gotta turn my mic off if I'm gonna watch this.
This is quite
The
extreme.
thing to remember with this stuff is that they've got a lot of padding. A lot.
Yeah. You know, as I say,
I don't doubt it, but that looks, I mean, that is, wow. No, and I'm not against it either. Don't think I'm going to go all social. I'm loving this. I want to know where I can go watch people do this shit. They are having a gladiatorial battle right now.
If you go to the Hastings Castle when you visit England, you're going to see that in the summer.
Like, look at that dude.
I'm not sure whether you would see that in Hastings, because Hastings, they would be in sort of Norman gear. And I don't think that gives you quite enough protection. Whereas this is kind of later knightly equipment.
Yeah. So this lad right here is British for sure, mate. Is that what you're saying, Brett?
No. This particular tournament is all European. They come from all over Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that dude. He looks like he ate a whole calf before he walked out here to say this guy is a freaking giant. His jaw is as wide as my shoulder.
Missiles to Sweden from
medieval battle reconstitution troops in Europe are generally having friendly competition during the summer.
But does everybody see what I just did? Is it human nature? I mean, you come to a place where we're relatively free. I just watched that, Jeremy, and the cops were just tossing those diplomats and the guys back and saying, "Get out of here now! You kicked him in the face. Now go." Nobody was really. Now, don't get me wrong. People were hurt. but nobody was hurt. Everybody's going to look just like they do now in about 4 or 5 days when they heal up a little bit. The bruises go away. They're going to be fine. And look, and besides that, Barbarian, I point to you before because you do it for fun.
I do. Yes. I've been doing this shit for almost 10 years now. No, a little bit over 10 years. The SCA guys that I used to do the full steel with, it's lots and lots of fun, but honestly what I do now is more dangerous. We are in the insurance category as skydiving as a business, and we don't have the protection they do, and we're not fighting in open fields. We're jumping out of trees on top of one another. We're on native land, so we don't have a lot of building code restrictions. So we've built fortresses and towers and shit that we're leaping out of and beating the fuck out of each other. Like, it's goddamn savage and brilliant. But I mean, I do miss the more real nightly stuff.
To your channel.
Do we need this stuff as human beings, Britisher and panel? That's what I'm saying. I mean, when I see this, I don't want those people charged with anything. And hey, let me put it this way: if the guy with the bullhorn would have hit him with a bullhorn, I wouldn't want him charged either. There's people with opposing views, and sometimes humanity, and more than humanity, sometimes, folks, men have to get out in the field of battle, face each other. And when I say when it happens like this, better than with nuclear weapons and M16s and whatnot.
Well, true. What I mean is when it comes to people battering each other like that, because in that case, it's an agreed code. Everybody has effectively agreed to clobber each other. The problem is when it's a bunch of diplomats that suddenly get set upon by some other people, because then it's not an agreed code. Then it's just a bunch of thugs.
If you actually watch the first few frames of the video, the guy with the security guard or whatever, the bodyguard starts attacking the guy in the blue shirt, but the guy with the blowhorn ends up taking a kick at him while he's fighting somebody else. So I don't feel that bad for him getting kicked by a bunch of people. He clearly decided to instigate violence first, and the fact that he's getting kicked is his own doing. When you get involved yourself in the fight, then you involve yourself in the fight.
There you go. And also, Britisher, you sent this link that I can't show right now because it says RT on it, and I'm not going to chance that. The other one wasn't timestamped or anything, but I'm watching, and now the cops are coming in with the pepper spray and stuff, Britisher, but the one that you sent me is showing these Kurds, which I know about the Kurds. I know who they are.
Kurds and the Turks killing each other in the city center in Germany.
But Britisher, I've asked you, what should we do with Dank? We were talking about it earlier. I'm not trying to segue back to that, but you always look at me, and when I say, what are you going to do? You know some of the things I said I won't repeat here earlier today because I was riled up. And you always say the same thing. No, mate, you have to be calm, and you have to do it the right way. So when I see this downtrodden people doing on the video what you sent me doing to the Kurdish police, what did they expect from the bodyguards of Erdogan on foreign soil?
Well, one of the problems with everything regarding the Middle East is it's never straightforward. It always goes back some 300 years. Mm-hmm. Everybody has at least got 3 cousins who have been murdered, killed, or imprisoned by the other side. So
like a chip on the shoulder.
That is only bad blood.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, basically, I was discussing that the other day. Like, basically, there's been a lot of diplomats, especially in France, when it comes, like to Israel and Palestine, for example, and when they get into the negotiation, into the negotiation room, and you see the motherfuckers just pulling out the Hadith and the Quran, and on the other side pulling out the Torah. Basically, the diplomats are like, okay, you know what? It's never gonna get through. They're never gonna manage. Like, they don't want to make peace. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much. There's so much bad blood, and there's so much not wanting to let it go that it's never going to be straightforward. It's never going to be a straightforward process, and it's always going to be complicated.
Well, I think in that regard, Goscinny, when I don't think it was actually Goscinny. I think it was Uderzo when he did Asterix, and he had to go and find some oil in the Middle East for the magic potion. And so basically you've got Asterix and Obelix going through the desert, and suddenly from everywhere there are arrows raining down on them. So they have to jump behind some rocks in order to keep out of the way. And they kind of wave a little white handkerchief. And, the next few pictures, you've got some warriors come out saying, oh, sorry, we mistook you for Hittites. We are Philistines. We're at war with them.
Yeah, yeah.
So then he goes
I
on.
remember this. I remember.
They go on a little. They go on a little further, and again, there's more arrows coming in. Oh, sorry. We're Assyrians. We thought you were. We thought you were Parthians. We're very sorry. They go on a little further. Again, more arrows. Oh, sorry. We're Hittites. We thought you were Persians. And it just goes on, and it's a sort of beautiful, very simple example of just how complex and how violent the Middle East is.
And at some point,
pages on a comic book.
Yeah.
Hey, you know be a great idea if we just import that culture here.
No, and at some point, and at some point, you see Asterix completely losing his shit, taking a gulp of magic potion and kicking everyone's ass.
This reminds me of the movie Life of Brian by Monty Python, whereas there were several factions warring, like People's Liberation Front, People's Judean Front, or what was it?
Exactly. Judean People's Liberation Front.
In front of it.
Right.
I want to eat them both.
What have the Romans ever done for us? That's what that famous.
Well, they gave us clean water, running water.
Well, yeah, there's that. Actually.
Wait, wasn't the clean running water part of the collapse of Roman civilization because they were using lead piping or whatever, which actually poisoned people?
No, it had nothing to do with that. It's a myth that goes around, but the lead in the water had nothing to do with the fall of Rome.
Yeah.
Well, that has to do with buying
whatever waterways they used to line with some lead and whatever would very quickly sort of calcify, so the water wouldn't actually be in direct contact with the lead. At the same time, the Romans were very careful only to use running water, so they would never have a water that would simply just pool on top of the lead, and therefore
in just 2 minutes of Thelemic magic. Only 2 minutes. I'm gonna do it hard. I just went out and had a little tea, Brett.
Okay.
It's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but 2 more minutes, folks, and I'm gonna go with Nachi Freeze here. I'm thinking he'll be interested because he's the kind of guy that thinks all religion and myth is bullshit. So, and look, I don't want to get in the way. So 2 more minutes, folks, on this, and then we're gonna go to Thelemic magic.
So this Twitter video ends on the guy who initially got attacked by the bodyguards being arrested by the police. That same blue shirt guy is being held in custody. He's one of the few people that actually has handcuffs on and being held aside. He may have gotten attacked by for a reason that we don't know, because all we see is the security guard running. Where's the rest of the video? I want to see the rest of it. Fuck him.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it was an honor. I'll leave you now. I've got some videos to edit.
That video.
Sorry.
Thank you, Britisher. Bye, Britisher, and we are looking.
Yeah, don't just run out quite yet, Brett. You got to give us a couple more seconds. What's that you want to say, Nachi?
Okay.
No, I just wanted to tell the Britisher, man, dude, I love that video that you put out, man. That was a hell of a promo.
No props.
I told you that he had a sense of humor. We've tried to help other people, Nazi, and the Britisher has a certain kind of wit. So maybe there was a little nervousness in the background, wondering if you would get all the jokes. So I'm sure the Britisher and myself are both very happy you did, and he was the one that wrote everything, anyways. I mean, by him and myself, I mean him.
Yeah, my wife especially loved it.
Okay, well, good to hear.
That was it, Brett. I ain't trying to keep you here any longer than that. I was out just washing my hands, and I just wanted to say also thanks for swinging by. I didn't think you'd want to hang in for the magic thing. That's why I saved it for the end. Thank you for swinging by.
See you about, guys. Bye.
See you about.
Take care.
See you.
Well, even though that is the end of the 2 minutes, just wrap this up on this thing, unless we already are. I'm going to go finish washing my hands, and because I just threw a hamburger down the chute so quickly. So good, man, that I did to wash the grease off. So, and then Beard Baron, we got a little bit of talking to do. I really want Nachi to be here.
Before we go to that, I just wanted to Philip to actually give us what he posted on the side chat, because it's a pretty good exchange and it's quite relevant today. Mm-hmm. So, Philip, would you please?
Well, I just posted the tail end of the famous "What have the Romans ever done for us" scene in Life of Brian and Monty Python Life of Brian. I don't think there's any need to read it out. Some may say that it's a kind of apologetics for imperialism, but perhaps there's some wisdom to that. I mean, I have nothing really to say at the moment, though. Once I do, I'll be sure to speak up, but...
Oh, well,
All right.
Romans
Well,
needed that.
but apart from sanitation, medicine, education, wine, public order, irrigation, and public health, what have the Romans ever done for us?
Brought peace.
Oh, peace? Shut up!
thank you, gentlemen.
They ushered in the Pax Romana, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a period of time where supposedly the known world was free of any wars for like about 50 years or something.
No, it wasn't free of any wars. We're in the Pax Romana now, Ignacio, but would you say we're free of any wars at the moment?
Oh, not at all. I wouldn't think
No.
that.
No,
Well,
but we're
okay,
free of like
actually-
worldwide conflict that is affecting nearly every human being on the face of the planet. That's kind of what they meant by that, because Rome was a nation of conquest. So when they were done conquesting, they started fighting amongst each other. That's why, I mean, the idea of what made Rome fall, was it lead in the pipes? Probably not. I agree with the Britisher. It was infighting. Rome destroyed itself. I think in the end, probably America will destroy itself.
It was also due to empire overreach and being unable to economically sustain
Yeah, there was
the entirety of. Yeah,
And in the end, they just again, it was empire overreach. The fact that they just expanded too much and they couldn't keep control over all these little factions that they kind of assimilated in the end.
Yeah, economically speaking, it was undoable, and therefore it collapsed through economics. It collapsed through economics, basically. Like it was economically unsustainable. Like the speed at which they expanded was economically unsustainable.
All right, before I do this, I just want to give Loki a chance to say anything, and also Caracal. I want y'all to pipe in, I guess, a little bit, but this next upcoming at least 40 minutes when we start will just be questions for Beard Barian. And Nachi, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, dude, but I watched too much of your shit to even feel that way. So, you know, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'm sure you're going to be fine, because I don't want to really play devil's advocate. If there's any devil's advocate to play, I want you to hear what both of us are saying, and for you to pipe in on your 2 cents, because I have some little, shall we say, superstitions that I hold to also. And it's always good to have the voice of sanity there. And so, Loki, what is it that you do? And Caracal, what is it that you do? Because among us here right now, and Philip, I know you do music too. If any one of the three of you want to say a little bit of something about what you do, give yourself a minute or so and do that before we get started.
Okay, what I do is I try and point out all the old things I used to know when I was growing up, I guess, all the things I found out, and I'm trying to regurgitate them back into small video format, and small digestible pieces. Simple stuff like the media lies to you and politics lies to you, and most of the things you hear are lies. It sounds grim. Sometimes try and put a small spin on it, a happy spin. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I come from a very liberal place. If any of you know, Toronto, Canada. I went through the education system, and as most people say, I feel like I got left behind when I wasn't really far on the left side. And at some point, I became the enemy, and I'm not sure why. So I started talking to people that weren't on the left side, and I came up with some interesting ideas. And now I'm just sitting here looking at what's happening, and the majority of what happened was the fact that I went back to college and I got some educational upgrades and stuff, and I met a bunch of kids who had no clue about anything. Like, they were shocked that the media lies to you. So I feel like I'm just bringing a lot of that back together. I guess I fall into the realm of the whole anti-SJW thing, but yeah, mostly just sit around and talk about bad framing.
And where can we find you, Loki?
Celerius, just my Celerius channel. It's me and my girlfriend Siggy. Well, she's the smarter one.
So you don't shout out the thing that I know about on Discord?
The Discord. Oh, that's all linked together. It's linked to my channel at least 3 different places.
So say very carefully. There's a website, because believe it or not, there'll be sometimes there's 400 people that watch church. There's a few people watching right now. So just say very clearly and carefully, where can folks find you to see the Kekistanian Refugee Center and the book club and all that good stuff you do?
Okay, so all the weird shows I have, just go to the Celerius channel. That I'll pop into the chat for a second. Oh,
spell it. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Augur, you have a link on the side chat.
Thank you. Never mind. Doppelganger did my work for me. I didn't mean to put you on the spot with the spelling of it, but I mean, because you said Celerius. I got it, brother.
subscriber.
We got it.
No,
So-
you can also just type up, search up Loki 3K. It should be one of the channels. That
Beautiful.
comes up.
I've got it right now. Doppelganger already got it hooked up. I'm shooting out
Okay,
your
yeah.
YouTube thing right now.
Loki,
And Conscious
I
Miracle.
was
if you
your
got something you wanna
250th sub.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
subbing too. I'm
indeed.
your 200, 253, excuse me. I'm hitting right
We
now.
just got news
Yeah.
from the chat that Loki is at 250 subs, so congratulations, good going.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. We're going to see if we can do something about that too, Loki, because I'd really like people to get involved in your Discord. So, Conscious Carrick, before I roll right down to Philip, man, and because I'm not going to cut my own nose off, man. Me and we have to have 40 minutes to cover this magic thing. It might not take that long, but people are really interested in it. So, what do you do, Carrick? And there's something about the Young Turks suck and 51. Tell us what you do before I ruin it for you.
Okay. So firstly, I have a YouTube channel where I just basically my intention is I'm not in it for to like gain a fandom or to make money or anything. It's literally just my hobby. I want to make videos that tackle topics that people, when they search on YouTube for certain topics or certain perspectives, they can find my videos and it can kind of help them in a way or give them a perspective they've never thought about. That's why I made the channel in the first place. I made my first video, Islamic versus Christian terrorism. I was so pissed after the Orlando attacks that there was no videos, actually like accurate videos comparing the two and giving people information from both sides. So I made that, and then I just made the YouTube channel, and then I made my Twitter. And then I'm also I'm one of the two head moderators of TYT Sucks on Reddit, the official anti-TYT sub, where we discuss all their blunders and all their dishonesty and kind of just hold their feet to the fire. We're already 51% the size of the official TYT subreddit, so we're growing at a phenomenal pace. I could have never guessed that it would have done so well. We actually have a pretty active community over there. I'll post the link in the chat, and you guys can come say hi and see what the conversation is about.
I post the link also, and when you see CC, you'll know it's that.
Awesome.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, sir.
We're mostly just a community of people that were banned from the official TYT subreddit. So we just like group together, and now we can talk shit about them, and they can't do a thing about it. And
he posts some excellent videos. He's actually posted a couple of mine, and you know what, Carrickle? I would have had one today. I'm working on one, but I do all my stuff. You know, I do it in one take, and I want yours to be. If you notice, the one on Dank today was 5 minutes. I'm really timing it because Carrickle, you know, he's I don't know, not a businessman, but it is a business trying to get information out. So I don't step on anybody too much. Thank you, Carrickle.
I studied economics in university, so you could say that, yeah.
You do very well. He's one of the best moderators, and apparently the score that he has on Reddit is astronomical. I've seen it; it's huge. Philip, if you want to say a couple things, we got 1 minute.
I just I really didn't have anything to say today. I'm just taking a break from studying for the bar exam. I have nothing political to say at the moment. I just wanted to say hi, you know. Just want to drop in.
Yeah, you ain't got to be political. What are you doing in your spare time? Did you get laid like I suggested? Did you go out and have a shot and fuck a pretty girl?
Well, I have, but
yes,
you know, of course, but
well, that will help you pass the bar. Is why I suggested it. You know, I mean, just be nice to the girls. Listen to them is how you do it. You just go up and say, "How you doing, honey? Can I buy you a drink or whatever?" And then listen a lot. Don't say much, and you know what'll happen. You're going, and just hold that vision in your mind when you're trying to be like, oh, you're thinking Henderson versus Buckshot, you know, in 1972 and blah, blah. You know, it'll come to you if you do that, those few little simple things for yourself, mate. I'm proud of you, kid, too. I mean,
thank you.
Oh, anyway, I don't want to put you on the spot anymore. I did. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into Flaming Magic. And again, listen, folks, just be respectful. I have the Beard Barian's hung in here now. I don't know how long he's been streaming. Been streaming with some fairly cool-ass people, too, I would say. 8 hours, something like that. Gog is on the top of my list. I never miss a video. I am hounding him ruthlessly to do something with me. Hopefully, I don't hound him so bad that we'll never talk again. And like I said, we got Nachi here, and I look at Nachi. Nachi is he got his finger, his mama, and he's got his thumb, his papa, and they're always there with him. You might not hear them, you might not see them, but they're always there with him. And between them and Scully, you know, they help him see the world, you know, without the rose-colored glasses on, like maybe I have sometimes. So I'm just gonna start like this. I've heard about Flaming Magic, Beard Barian, and I've heard that only evil can come of Flaming Magic. Do you believe that's true? And I guess before you answer that question, I know this is a hard one, but if you could just because I said Thelemic magic, like everybody listen, everybody's going to watch later knows what it is. If you could give us, because you know it a little bit better than I do, if you could give us an idea of Thelemic magic and maybe the kind that you subscribe to, and then our only evil come of it.
Alrighty, so with I gotta start off by saying that I'm not an expert on Thelemic magic or on the Gnostic Catholic Church or on the practices of any of its subsidiaries or chapters or other functioning organizations. I am an occult nerd. I really like discovering, all the little hidden things. Where if someone says there's an occult conspiracy or something going on, I want to learn more. And with Thelema, I started getting more involved in actually part of the church, we'll say. But let's just say the Gnostic Catholic Church, and I'm very early in this. I'm learning a lot, but I'm at the basic stage of things. But the thing that's beautiful is at the basic stage of things, they tell you everything that sets up everything for everything later. So I have what I can discuss and what I can explain to you guys. The first thing to know about Thelema and where people get this evil idea of, or it's something scary, is from Aleister Crowley himself. And anytime you get news about Crowley or about Thelema as a result, you have to remember that Crowley was a troll way ahead of his time. If there was some way he could piss people off or make them creeped out and grossed out, he would do it in a heartbeat. He loved all the rumors. He wrote extensive diaries on it, and most Thelemites and Gnostic Catholics are just Aleister Crowley nerds. Now the base principle of Thelema, what the Book of the Law sums down to, and its most important point, or the tagline of Thelema, sets a stage where one can say, well, you can't really have evil Thelemic magic ultimately, because if it is, it's not Thelemic, and that is love is the do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. To say that no man, woman, child, or being should be restricted, governed over, or forced into any situation, that they should always act with free, independent will of their own volition, and that when they're making these actions or choices, they should do so from a space of love, which is defined as kindness, generosity, be free to be you, and please don't be a dick in the process. This is the message of Thelema. And when you get down to what Thelemic magic is, evil Thelemic magic doesn't really, it could happen, but it doesn't happen, because Thelemic magic is not doing my potion here and I will wiggle my face. It's not my god magic. No, I will give you presto chango, give you the boobs. This is not happening.
Well, I'll probably ask you for an example soon. I will ask you for example soon. But continue on, because I got one for Nachi. I'm going to bounce this between you and Nachi, and I'll give a little 2 cents in here and there. But so, Beard, what you were saying is, what was the tagline? And there is a very specific thing that they say: do as
thou wilt is the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.
Yeah, thank you. You said that now twice, very, very poetically. And so, again, do as thou wilt. Does that make it inherently evil? Meaning that if someone does only what they want to do, would that mean that they would only do, because we're human beings? You see where I'm going? Let me be clear.
Do as thou wilt.
Is that inherently evil because it's selfish?
What you are doing, the thing that you are doing of your own volition, must be done with love. If it is not done with love, it is a violation of Thelema. Thelema is the Greek word for love. That is, it's ultimately a giant church of intellectual hippies that are hugging each other and saying, you know what, you could be a much better person. It's really hard to comprehend these people.
No, that was actually perfect. So you're kind of, I'm not saying you're dodging, but maybe I wasn't clear enough. Is Thelemic magic a base evil religion, or a base evil, I shouldn't say religion, practice? Is it a base evil practice?
No, it is derived from a lot of different faiths, and ultimately it has a lot in common with Abrahamic faiths, with serving others, with taking care of others, your community, putting yourself last, caring about your families. It's a very helpful and service-oriented organization.
All right, and we'll get deeper into it hopefully as this next 30-some minutes progresses. Nachi, you see that right now, and we'll find out maybe what beliefs Beardbarian holds fast to, and I doubt we'll find out what ones I do. But in your travels, you know, people hold fast to different crotchets of the Catholic religion. And what I mean by that, some are cannibals and eat their enemies, and some pray to Mary and shit and like eat pieces of paper they say are like Jesus. And so, and what I'm asking you is, sir, is what do you think about that? Is there anything to be had from any of these strange crotchets of Catholicism?
No, there is nothing. I mean, at least from the only good thing that I do see with all religion, one thing, and I think people just not even aware of it, is the discipline that you get. Even though, like for example, when it comes to Islam, you have to do prayers 5 times a day. That, in the end, there's a good thing, there's a bad thing. The bad thing about that is that it's a form of subjugation. And I don't know if it's true, but I think supposedly when Muhammad first came up with the idea, he was actually like 50 times a day and he wanted to pray. And they were like, dude, that's impossible. We'd be praying all day long. I heard that from it.
Nazi, you're killing me. You're roboting a little bit. I want to hear what you say so bad, but I'm getting about 90% of it. Yeah, in fact, Carol just said, I'm only getting about 85, 90% of it. It's either your mic or your connection.
Oh,
I got to hear this.
Let me see. Can you guys hear me better now?
Way better.
Okay, because I had this little thing on the. Okay, never mind.
Way better, mate. Just I don't have to have you start again. Just pick up where you were at if you can, sir.
Anyway, so the point is, there are certain usefulness to some of the religious practices, like I was saying, like prayer. Prayer kind of keeps you focused. That's why people think their prayers do get answered. And it's amazing to me how nowadays I still get people telling me, well, you know, I prayed for this. And I'm like, what you don't realize is you're basically disciplining yourself to reinforce goals that you want to see achieved every time you pray. If you're praying about the same thing.
Prayer is just self-motivation. I'm
Love
sorry.
y'all too, but I was about ready to shoot out in the chat. Look, I've got questions designed for Nachi and Beard Barian right now. I love all y'all too, Jeremy, everybody here. But if you have something to pop in, I will give each one of you literally 15 seconds apiece when they're done. This will save me from texting to Loki. And you can say a lot in 15 seconds, believe me. And in fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 30 seconds apiece to add on to the questions. But then I got to move on, folks, because this has got to be over this part at least. And then once this is done, believe me, everybody knows the ogre. We can talk about this till infinity. But let me get these two gentlemen just like I planned to go. So Nachi, if that wasn't too much of a bump in the bugger, I don't think you were concluded, sir. Continue.
Oh no, so I'd be curious to see what Beard Barian is talking about with this magic stuff, because I think honestly, in the end, I think all of these spiritual practices they're just false. I mean, I think it's wishful thinking.
Well, we may line up there, and we're going to get into prayer. I heard prayer brought up, so if you want to dig deeper, Notch, that's what we're going to do. And believe me, every question will be engineered to bounce off next to you, so that you can get your thing in. So as far as you can see, you said that, you know, all of these strange and different and varying crotchets of Catholicism. You know what I mean when I say Catholicism? Does everybody know what I mean when I say that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It means universal religion for those that don't.
That's why Thelema calls itself the Gnostic Catholic Church, is because it's universal.
It is. It's universal. That's why I'm using this, Beard Barian. I've done a lot of research. I was an apologist for years. I've done this for years. So what I want to do is I just want to march on then. So keeping that in mind, Nachi, you've mentioned that there are some good things that could come from this, but you have made it very clear that you think that, or I don't want to speak for you. Do you believe there's any validity in any sort of magic, prayer, any sort of?
No, you have to be real careful, dude, because people die because of that shit. People die because of misinformation, man.
Christian scientists and whatnot.
I've seen it within family. I've seen it, I mean, I don't want to start getting into examples, but I've seen what happens when people prioritize religious beliefs over scientific reality, dude. And it's brutal. I've seen
never good.
Fucking die of cancer from that shit.
Oh man, it's never good. And we'll probably get into that in the very final question, which will be absolutely about faith and prayer. So, you know, I flipped these this time, Beard Barian, because I asked him in a certain way the last time. So I'm going to ask him opposite. I worked as a landscaper in Florida. I knew these two gentlemen, Ken and Rick. Rick was a big 6'4" mustache, big old burly dude. He did talk a little feminine, but my wife told me one day, do you know that the guys you work for part-time are gay? I said, no, I don't know. No, I didn't know that. What? And so I foolishly at Golden Corral one day looked at Rick because he was my friend. We were really close. I shared intimate things with this big giant of a man that was so kind-hearted and so soft. And so I said to him, you know, hey, are you two, you know, and that was all it took. They laughed in my face, you know, and then that was the worst mistake I ever made because, as I said before, they kind of started really fooling with me. I don't think anyone was attracted to me, but we were breaking down a wall later that day, and my nipple got tweaked, my ass got slapped, heck, my butthole got tickled a couple times with a middle finger. Just to, you know, and believe me, it was jovial jokes on their part of saying, why'd you have to come out and ask us, you fucking faggot? Didn't you? So what I'm saying is, Rick, this guy that I was told my whole life couldn't be a Christian, couldn't be heard. God couldn't hear him because he had this thing that he did that was so bad that it would make God not like him anymore. He would plant this stuff called mondo grass, Baron. And I know I'm going on, but I want everybody to understand this. And every time, it's a little mondo grass only covers maybe at the most 1 square inch. So every inch he would pop his finger in this nice tilled soil, fertilized soil, put a little plant, bury it, and say a prayer. Do you think that asking a higher power or something out there, or even the act of praying itself, or some kind of mechanical implement in the process of prayer over a living thing could possibly help it?
I think we lost him.
Yeah, he may be frozen. And look, I'll just bounce to him. Oh, there he is. Go ahead, Beard. Did you hear everything I said?
Yes, I did. So I'm going to rehash a lot of what I said the last time, but that's totally fine. It's the same fun things. There have been...
Well, remember, Beard, that got struck down. That doesn't exist.
Yes, it did. That's why it's totally okay. Personal practices from a ritualistic perspective, regardless of one's religious ideals on it. Taking any sort of practice and making it a ritual is a benefit both to the person performing the task and to the outcome of the task itself. We focus ourselves and we're more precise with it, especially with things like putting plants in the soil. We make sure that they're the exact right depth, they have all the nutrients and drainage that they're going to need. It results in a higher quality garden and crop as well. It's just there's the tangible portion of it there. Then there's also the hippie side of things. I should have gotten the freaking articles for this time, but there's a reasonable belief that singing to plants or talking to them or being in physical communication with them, the transference of energy.
We've all heard this.
Yes, can encourage plants to grow stronger and faster and yield higher crops. I'm indifferent on the idea.
But I think it does have a benefit for the human, not the plant.
Yes, exactly. And I simply believe that it is the focusing of time. However, there's also the side of things that with getting into Thelemic magic again, where if we want to perform a magical rite or blessing on something, the focus is to draw in a god form, an idea, an entity as a role, as something that you perform as, not something that you are or you're calling upon, but the role that you play. And you bless the space and the object and the time with this intent. So if you want your plants to grow stronger, then you bless them with I don't know, whatever the hell you want to set out to do. You find the right god for the task, you embody it, you put it in there. These
correct me if I'm wrong, does this relate to routine as well, as in routines that you do on a daily basis?
As far as I'm concerned,
Caracol, I
absolutely.
have such deep respect for you, man. Let's let these boys go for about 40 minutes. I love you, Caracol. I will give you 30 seconds when they're done each time. But until then, let Beard. I love you too, Caracol. I hate to even break it like that. I know you are. Whatever your question, I've been jotting stuff down too, Caracol. Just to let you know, I'm not bullshit. I've been jotting stuff down over here because I don't want to interrupt them. So, if you will continue, Beard Baron.
Excuse the interruption, but Ogre, would you please look at the side chat? There is a question for you.
Okay.
One message up.
I see it.
But to really summarize it all, do I believe that this practice is beneficial or that it yields results? I do, and I believe it both in the physical context and in the spiritual context of it. These things are not, one doesn't rule out the other. I believe that they are mutually beneficial, Whether or not that's true, it still changes my experience, and I believe yours as well, Ogre, when you're performing these ritualistic tasks. When you make it something special, it is something special, and frankly, the rest of the world can be damned about it.
If you don't mind my asking, do you ever, and I'm not trying to be condescending or anything, but do you ever try to apply the scientific method to it? Do you like try to have like, track of, for example, however I say the scientific method and I can't just iterate it off.
It's okay. It's the empiricist approach. It's can I grow two sets of plants alongside one another and tangibly see the difference? That was done by those stupid hippie things that I should have gotten links to, but I don't stand on either side of it. There wasn't enough for me to say that enough of a difference for me to say that it wasn't just from growing conditions as a guy who likes to grow gardens and stuff. But that again is why I don't count on such a practice. I included it voluntarily.
Well, and I'll say this before I bounce it to you, Notch. Look, if you're speaking to a plant, that's where the science comes in, because we breathe out CO2. You mentioned it, Beard Barry, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but we both know that you said the scientific method, yes. And I think he's been clear, but before I speak for him and let him go again, we'll get into it deeper. Because maybe Beard Barry believes that if you get the right God, your plant will grow stronger. He'll tell us in a minute. But Nachi, you heard the question, so how do you feel about it? I see you wanted to ask him a question. You can either ask him a question, but I'd like to know what you think about what we just said. Is it possible that my big homosexual friend that was so gentle and so kind that they said no entity out there could ever listen to him, Nachi? Is it possible that, I'll say his mondo grass grew the best, but is it possible that there was something happening one way or the other with those prayers that he was given for each plant that he planted in every square? You know what mondo grass is. You live in we know where you live. You live down in Florida. Mondo grass is everywhere. That's the little grasses that grow between the flagstones at rich people's houses, But so because I was in Orlando, Florida when this happened. So is there something that possibly could be? And if not, what is it? Is it, do you tell me before I lead you much more?
I don't know, man. I think it's just really important to look at reality for what it actually is, as boring as it may be sometimes. Because I think what people are looking for is maybe excitement and stuff like that. Whenever I hear people talk about their religious experiences, and right now with this one particular relative of mine who is, they've got cancer. And it's interesting to see the religious people in our family swearing that, when they get together and they're going to pray, like the other day when we were waiting for some results. And these people, each his own, man, and I hope this never comes back to haunt me, but it is sad to see how many people think that they're going to get together and pray with their hands, only to have the results come back. No, dude, it's, you've got cancer and you're going to need chemo.
Yeah, prayers don't change cancer.
And yet the religious people of the family, they really think they're doing something, like, oh, no, this is, you're going to see. And it's sad, man. It is really sad. The good thing is that the person who is going through this cancer, their husband is an atheist and a biologist, and that guy's taking no fucking chances on any of that shit.
Right. So in other words, also, Nachi, I know this might sound crazy, but there's a guy on our show named MC. Doppelganger will testify with me. He cures cancer, bro. And I don't mean he cures cancer by laying on hands or praying. I mean, he does stuff with radiation and whatnot. And I don't know if he can help at all, but I would like you to talk to him. So what you're saying is, before I move on to the next question, is if it is real, we should be very careful with it because it's very random and we shouldn't put our faith in potions or powers.
Well, hell's no. No way.
We should put our faith in the people that do this stuff for a living. The ones, the doctors, and the ones that actually do cancer shit.
Yes, of course, dude.
Maybe if, and I hate to lead you more, but just to put a point on the power of mental power. Maybe if we were going to pray, don't pray that it would be one way or another. Pray that the doctors would be able to do their job as best, or would you not even agree with that?
I just wouldn't waste time with prayer.
Yep,
I would. The time I would spend praying is the time I would spend researching.
Nachi, may I ask you, would you practice some other form of meditation?
No,
the benefits from meditation.
Meditation, I'm trying to get into it.
Is meditation different, though?
Yeah, good job, Loki. And as soon as Loki's question is answered, Caracol and then Jeremy, but make it nice and quick like this has been, and for either one of them, and then we'll move on to the next question. Thank you. So what was that you just said, Loki? Is
meditation really very different than prayer?
I could answer that, but it would be long.
No, hang on, Jeremy. I love you, brother, but let either Nachi or Beardbarian answer that right now. Believe me, I'm going to have you as a special guest, Jeremy. Just relax.
Well, I'll make mine quick so Jeremy can get back on it because I'm not much of an expert on meditation. I just look, if there's one person whose tips on meditation I listen to is Sam Harris, and he's very big onto meditation, and that guy is completely, nothing with spirituality and stuff. And there's a science to why meditation works. It really does. It's a conditioning of the mind, and it's
frontal lobes.
But the process of meditation and the process of prayer can be incredibly similar. But now we're just talking about who does it right and who does it wrong.
Loki, I'm afraid your voice is breaking up.
Loki, a robot.
Oh, we lost Loki.
Oh, but I think I see what he was trying to get at. And no, there is a huge difference between meditation and prayer. At least when I meditate. Loki, if you're back in, you want to talk about the...
Yeah, no, I just want to point out that I've talked to several people about the subject, and some people might say that meditation and prayer are actually incredibly similar. It just depends on which degrees and how you perform each. Some people say you got to sit down and actually focus on the thing you want and like appeal to a right deity. It depends on which kind of meditation you do. Depends on what kind of prayer you do.
That's so true. And I'll tell you, if you pray right, because some people do this, Nachi, they go, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and they do like your bitch of a fucking teacher did, and they like got their rosary, and they make you watch fucked up videos about Jesus on motherfucking, you just want to be a kid and have your motherfucking Christmas presents, and they trot out old reel-to-reel shit, and you gotta, you're like, why do I gotta watch this guy get beaten to death and die right now? I just want a fucking present, man. And so, I mean, we understand that sucks, but if you pray properly, the way that certain religious books, and I would go so far as I could go into many. So instead of doing what I just asked everybody else not to do, I want to get right back to the guests. Excellent, everybody. Help me help y'all, and I'm going to drop it back because I got a clock right here to 20 seconds. So as soon as each answers to their fullest, this time I'm going to continue to start with Beardbarian. Everybody jump in with their question to add to it for 20 seconds, and we'll roll on. If this is too tough, just drop out. So the next thing I'm going to say is cold, and I'll keep this very brief. Beardbarian will be back. What I do, Nachi, is before the cold comes here in Michigan, I go down into about what I'm wearing right now, mate. I go down into shorts and just a nice light top, and I go out. A lot of times when I do this, on the first cold day, I mean the first day below 25 degrees. So when it's about 20 degrees, and it's usually snow on the ground, and I do my chores. I feed my chickens barefooted in the snow. I'll be out there. Usually I'll last about hour and a half, 2 hours. And I firmly believe that ritual allows me to endure the cold much better than someone that hasn't done that ritual. And I know, Beardbarian, that you have, because I know the science also, but you explain it so much better than me. So is it possible that it's my faith in that ritual, or is it Thelemic magic that's coming into play? Is there something I don't understand about that ritual that plays into your knowledge of Thelemic magic, or something else that may help me with the cold?
So first thing is first.
We lost you, Beardbarian.
What a terrible place to lose him.
Yeah, he's here. Hey, Beardbarian, I hate it. Listen, Beard, I love to see you too, mate. But if you can, turn your camera off so that I can have your vocals, because I got to have your vocals on this. I feel like the powers that be don't want people to understand Thelemic magic isn't evil. So just pick it up right there, brother.
Is it working now?
Perfect, mate. Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. So the thing that I failed to explain earlier that does make a change and is especially influential in this case is that there's another piece inside of the Book of Law that states there is no God but man. And that is a very, very important keystone. There is no God but man. Now, when you're embodying, when you're doing these practices and you're embodying these gods and these ideas, you're just playing a role. You're being more attentive around certain ideas. So yes, it does have an effect, but Thelemic magic isn't I wiggle my fingers and say Thelemic magic is my will be done. I want a sandwich. Excuse me, honey, could you make me a sandwich? And she makes me a sandwich. My magic is done. I want to grow a bigger, healthier beard, so I pay more attention to it and use good oils. I've done magic. It's not wiggling fingers and prayers. It is practical applied action. And that's an important difference. So yes, you are committing thelemic magic by performing your ritual rite, by using this embodiment process with the cold, but you're also just exposing yourself to the cold, and as such, your testosterone count is soaring through the roof, and it increases the potency of your immune system for a time as well as your resistance to the cold. So all these things are happening at once. They're all true and untrue and meaningless and meaningful at the same time. Your body is benefiting you because it is your body's science, and perhaps you are doing so more effectively through the accomplishment of your willpower. That's how it would reflect in thelemic magic anyway.
Man, that's beautiful, Beard. And that was 2 minutes exactly. So, Nazi, I don't have to say it again. You heard what we're talking about. Is it maybe psychosomatic? What is it? Is there anything to my stupid ritual? Are there rituals that will help us?
No, but of course, and I think people stumble into reality. For example, but let me finish off the thought. I think a lot of times people stumble into discoveries like Christopher Columbus, and they stumble into realities through pure chance. And for example, the guy who discovered that the world was round way before Christopher Columbus, actually, which was Eratosthenes. He was a mathematician in Alexandria. I think it was like 230 BC. And dude, just from observation, the guy just looked at two towers, the two towers that I think he was in charge of, and he wondered once to himself, I wonder if on the longest day of the year, which is I think June 21st or whatever, if at 12 o'clock, if the shadows of these two towers are the same distance. And not to get into all the details of how he did it, but he basically in his mind figured out that because of those shadows being in different lengths at the same exact time of the day, he was able to work out a fucking mathematical equation that gave him the circumference of the Earth to an astonishing degree. And this was 230 something BC before Christ. That's not magic, dude. That's just, it's the guy was somebody who thought a lot about math, who apparently was put in charge of
meditated on the math.
Could have, and
that is a lot of Thelema right there.
And I think you might have stumbled into something like that yourself, Ogre, by going out that cold. You're conditioning slowly but surely. You probably started conditioning your body. I'm sure there's a lot of shit you've forgotten that you did. Maybe you started picking it up the first day you did it at 5 minutes. The next day it was 6. The next time it was 7. And you slowly developed how do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for right now? A tolerance for that. And who knows? Maybe you've got a scientific paper on your hands that you can write about. That's the other thing that I always say, man. Always look at it from the scientific perspective, because you could actually propose a theory, and dude, you never know. You may stumble into something that no other scientists have figured out, and you can benefit mankind. But things like magic and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone, man, but
oh no, not at all, mate.
The hard
honestly,
way.
the finger wiggling magic is bullshit.
Right. I've had my my fair share of really bad experiences when I was younger. Because when I was younger, I did kind of believe, even though in the back of my mind I always knew a lot of this stuff was bullshit. They always tried to hang on to a lot of things, and I made some pretty big mistakes in my life thinking that I was on a destiny or on some sort of a path.
Do you want to talk about bad fucking things? I was homeless for a while because my parents would choose to talk to her fucking angels in their meditation over taking care of me.
Wow.
Okay. I've absolutely had my horrible fucking experiences, and I still have to deal with my mom once in a while. I have a text from a couple of days ago. What?
Loki has been a real life Isaac, and Isaac in the sense of the Binding of Isaac, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've been a real life Isaac, basically.
Like, my mom still sends me messages about how Jesus wasn't actually interterrestrial alien, and all of our technology was brought to us through meditation, through weird beam weaponry, sending us the actual information, how to build a technology from another space alien race, and it's just a deep rabbit hole of insanity. But through all of it, I still want to find like what actually works. And we know that meditation does have some kind of clinical benefit, but it's not much different than regular.
It depends what you call meditation, though. That's the thing. Is that what do you call meditation? Like, define what you call meditation.
Okay, it's hard to define meditation because meditation has, like I said, there's some people meditate while listening to death metal. Some people meditate while listening to the sounds of the jungle. Some people prefer to be in an isolation chamber completely full of drugs. A deprivation chamber completely full of drugs and meditate. And everyone gets their own weird life experience from it. Some people prefer to pray in the middle of the jungle while helping people find Jesus, or just feed them.
What is the act you put your mind to? Like, define what you're doing in your mind.
Okay, the most basic form of meditation that I've learned about is just to sit, be still, and let your mind be still. If you can make your mind still, then you've achieved something.
Yeah, you've basically achieved what is called in judo the inner calm.
Right.
For example,
go ahead.
For example, I'm just going to give examples about what types of meditation you're talking in judo, because in judo there are several methods of meditations that are recommended, and of course the very first one is reaching out the inner calm. And reaching out the inner calm is basically stay still and let your mind go on its way until your mind pick up the fact that, oh, the body's been still. Maybe I should shut the fuck up. Like, maybe I should shut the fuck up too. But
sometimes the mind shows you what's actually bothering you when you're perfectly still and calm. And that's also really useful.
Yeah. But what is actually really cool is seeing, the part of your brain that is actually your mind, reaching out to the understanding. Like, everybody's been shutting the fuck up for a fucking hour, and I've been the only one ranting so far. Maybe I should shut up. Like, it's your mind that basically say, yeah, maybe you should shut up now. It's always a funny moment when basically your mind is like, oh, oops, sorry. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had those moments as well, I think. But I don't know. I'm starting to also see life a lot from just the very point of chemistry, and how much, to a large degree, a lot of the things that we do are just, I'm not going to say beyond our control, because I definitely believe in self-responsibility and all that, but it is amazing. Like, for example, my moods, I'm starting to realize, are more dictated now that I'm starting to understand about serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, and dopamine.